Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. We are so excited today. Yeah. I can't even begin to tell you because we have... This is so much fun what we have today. There's no story. There's no sports. This is just... It's going to be wall-to-wall arrests, crime, mayhem. We'll explain in a second, but oh my goodness, I'm excited about today's episode, and I know everybody else will be. This is one that people have been clamoring for, and we're going to give it to you. Before we get to that, quickly, just want to go over some house cleaning here. Mm-hmm. First of all, reviews are insanely helpful. Whichever platform you're listening on, give a review. It really helps. 5 stars. Thank you for doing that.
Doing our part, you do yours.
Thank you. It helps. It goddamn helps. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com immediately, or when you're done listening to this, or whenever, really. Yeah. I mean, when you get to it. I know people are busy. Right maybe right now. Do that. Get all of your merch. We have new stuff up there. And also get your tickets to live shows. For Small Town Murder, we have shows coming up the 8th and 9th of April in Pittsburgh and Columbus. A few tickets left. Get your tickets for those.
Very few. You better hurry.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Those are both good crowds, so I'm excited for that. Pittsburgh's one of my favorite cities in the country.
What a great town.
I love that town. Columbus, you're okay too, but Pittsburgh, amazing. Amazing. Good stuff. Anyway, so get your tickets for those. And also, we have Crime and Sports later on in the year. There's still a Crime and Sports live show in Sacramento with tickets for it. Mm-hmm. There's a Crime and Sports and a Small Town Murder same night. And Small Town Murder.
The Ace of Spades, right?
Ace of Spades. Small Town Murders. Small Town Murder is how you say our other show. Yeah, Jesus, I can't even get words out of my mouth. That show's been sold out from like day one in Crime and Sports. Still some tickets left, so don't embarrass yourselves, Crime and Sports listeners. Show up. Let's go. And show out. So do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Patreon this week is so good as well. If you have not heard our personal ad episodes, they're so much fun. And this week is maybe our best one that we've done so far.
Maybe?
I think it is. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports is where you get all of that. And $5 or above gets you access to both shows. Bonus episodes, the whole back catalog, and everything. So for Crime and Sports this week, the aforementioned personal ads, which are, like I said, they're incredibly funny.
Detroit doesn't disappoint.
Detroit and Mississippi we did from the 80s and 90s, and my God, are they funny. And then for Small Town, you can tell the difference between Detroit and Mississippi in the way they advertise themselves. A lot of song lyrics in there. It's weird. And then for Small Town Murder, we did a very requested episode. We talked about the Tinder Swindler documentary. And then we also ended up talking about Anna Delvey and that whole thing, too, that mess as well. So we got into kind of both of those swindler things. So it was a really fun time, too, and a good episode.
With a bonus of murder.
It was a murdery bonus without murder. So a lot of
there
fun.
Was murder.
Oh, eventually. So anyway, do that. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports, and you'll get a shout out at the end of the show because, goddamn it, we appreciate you. And if you just want your shout out and to be a very nice person who has great karma, you can go to PayPal and use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com as well. Mm-hmm. There it is. And show ideas, by the way, research at shutupandgivememurder.com.
There it is.
Websites and all this shit. All right, let's get that out of the way. And let's get into this. We are gonna tell. Here's how we're gonna do this episode today. We've never kind of done one like this, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. But I noticed just a huge like backlog of that we haven't talked about of former subjects being arrested since they've been on the show. Mm-hmm. And we always get updates from people. People will send us, tweet at us or whatever, and they're like, hey, check this out. It's always one of our people. Hey, they're back at it again. Haha. And That's the whole thing. So
Sonny's the most popular.
Oh, she's got quite a lot. So I said, let's do an update segment, And I was like, we'll do a story, and then, we'll do a little bit shorter of a story, and then we'll be like a half hour, and we'll do some updates.
Yeah.
Then I put them together. I looked through the people we've done and some people with a lot of crimes since then, and it was overwhelming. It was like, it's an entire episode all on its own. So I'm like, I got to talk about this. So we're going to do a very short story, very short recent story about a crazy MMA fighter here.
Oh, boy.
In a moment, and then that'll last a little bit, and then we're going to get into updates, so it's just wall-to-wall arrests of some of our all-stars, Mayhem Miller, Joey Barton, Sonny, of course, obviously Sonny, Ben Cousins, oh my God, Ben Cousins, what he's been up to, holy shit, it's insanity. So these are some of our craziest, and we'll talk about them. We will get into it, but first, let's talk about this MMA fighter, shall we?
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Donovan Salvato is his name. Okay, old Donovan here. Yeah. Now, Donovan Salvato. What? I'm sorry?
Donnie?
Donovan, he goes by, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
Don?
Maybe his friends call him.
Probably Big D.
His friends call him Donnie, maybe. I'm not sure. But Donovan Salvato is what I'd call him after what he did.
Okay.
You'd call him whatever I think he wants to be called. Yeah, I believe at this point, because he's a little out there. Oh, now, this happened last year, so he's 30 years old, so you can, he's born in the early 90s. He's an amateur MMA fighter, never has any pro fights, but he has 4 MMA amateur fights that are like organized, one particular group that does these amateur fights. And I don't know if these are like, the parking lot of that terrible dive bar we did comedy in or what. I don't know how it is, but it's at an expo center. Okay. So I assume they have like
chain link around an octagon of sorts.
It's an inside thing. They had like a boat show the day before. The boat show leaves, and then these guys punch the shit out of each other.
This is in between the RV show and the boat show.
I believe so. It's wedged right in there. It's a sweet spot. That's the soft, sweet taint of the whole weekend. Really is.
If you have tickets to either event, this is included.
If you go to the boat show after this, you get to see blood stains everywhere. So that's what's fun about that. You get to
there'll be blood spatter on your Ranger.
You get to piece together what happened the night before, which is nice. So excellent here. So Donovan Salvato, let's talk quickly about his MMA goings on because it's not long at all. He had his first amateur fight August 19th, 2017. Oh. And this is an ongoing series who he's fighting for. It's Jonathan Ivy's Cage Fighting Championships 2. Okay. Allow me to show you the poster. Would you kindly roll over this way? And you want to see some.
What is this? What?
I don't know.
Is prison.
I think that's Jonathan Ivy, I would imagine, because he's on all the posters.
I don't want to know that guy.
He looks like a fat guy in his 40s who's got a lot of tattoos.
He looks like he's been to prison, my friend.
Oh, absolutely. Hope and Faith are 2 of the large tattoos on his shoulders, and then he's got
Pray for nobody, James.
Pray for nobody. A big smiley face on his hand. He's got
a bomb on over the other side of his
Superman.
chest.
I see on one side.
I see
over
that.
here.
Yeah. What's it say on his knuckles? What are his knuckle tats?
I can't make it out, which is.
I see a U. I see a.
That's
is it an upside down R?
Does that say Cunto?
Does it say curd?
Curds are.
Does it say curds and whay on his hand?
I think it's a kudo. Kudo. That's a D. Kudo.
So that's going to be the second half of the 8-letter word. Then the other 4 letters are on the other side.
This looks like ALE.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Alakudo?
Al-Kudo. Ali-Kudo. I don't know. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, but he doesn't.
Does that say Value Kid Cudi? Is that what it says?
He looks like the toughest guy at the Home Depot is basically what he is.
Yeah.
Like on any given Sunday, this guy's this guy. You don't want to mess with him in the fucking plywood aisle.
None of his tattoos go together. They're just like randoms. They look like somebody got random. Like fake stick-ons and just put them all over him.
Yeah, but they're on all of his damn pictures. There he is again with some of these pictures. Oh, he has less tattoos, so I feel like he's really tatted himself up for the poster.
He's going every 2 weeks.
He's going, yeah. Every time they have a card, he uses all the profits on a new tattoo.
He got a smiley face, for Christ's sake.
This is at the Middle Tennessee Expo Center in Middle Tennessee Boulevard in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Oh boy,
quite the crowd there. Doors open at 6. VIP tables available. Oh wow, bottle service.
You got a meet and greet with these monsters?
Honey, I told you to wear your best evening gown. We have VIP seats at the fucking Middle Tennessee Expo Center to see this guy with mismatched tattoos choke another man with very little fighting experience and mismatched tattoos.
Do you think he's fighting, or is he the Dana White of this?
I think he's the Dana White of this because I think he's the fighter and the Dana White.
Maybe.
Because it's always him on the poster. And it's Jonathan
Nobody
Ivy's Cage Fighting Championships, and he's like, the way he's pointing, he's got to be Jonathan Ivy. Oh, look, and the Jonathan even has the O in Jonathan on the font here is a bomb. It matches his tattoo on his chest.
Does it say Jonathan across his knuckles, James? Is that what that is?
No, this says Kudo or Ku something. CU something O is on one of them, so it can't be. I don't think it's supposed to make sense, probably.
Probably not. It's
maybe
just a bunch of letters.
Maybe only to him. I'm not sure. But this is
probably
a fucking
how he
mess.
thinks the alphabet goes.
Yeah.
C-U-D-O.
C-U-D. I learned my letters. So this man, is that a roast on his right hand? Just looks like a nice standing rib roast on his right hand, it looks like. To remind me
the
that
other
I'm
side is
sometimes.
literally the have a nice day happy face.
Oh, yeah. It looks a little demented on him, though, for some reason.
Yeah.
So this guy here, or this event, sounds like a shit show. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, it's a mess.
And it's amateur MMA, so does that mean they're not getting paid, or does that mean that...
No, it means there's knives.
It means you're allowed to use chains and knives, anything up to projectile weapons, like no guns or like zip guns or anything.
He has a fucking bomb tattooed on his chest. I'm sure there's explosives involved in this.
We have, that's possible too. We have cage fights with 50s greasers versus Soch rules. That's how we do it. Knives and chains are fine, but ain't nobody using guns or nothing like that. We like to stick to fists if possible.
No powder weapons.
No powder weapons. God damn it. Tuck that musket back in there, Jethro. I told you, no powder. So he fights a guy named George Bayard, who is 0-1 coming in to this fight.
Is Jonathan our guy?
Oh, no. Our guy is Donovan Salvato.
Donovan. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't last long. But
so Donovan fights?
Donovan fights. But we talked about the event because he fights for this promotion exclusively. So that's why he only fights for them. So this George Bayard that Donovan Salvato's fighting is 0-1 coming into this fight. Yeah. So there's going to be a great fight. A never fought before and an 0-1 amateur fighter. This
Both
fight,
of them are hungry.
They're hungry, probably literally. They're fighting for pizza. They're fighting. He got a large pie afterwards. He's like, winners all get 2 slices. That's how it works. Losers get nothing. Losers get those little pieces of the crust that break in the box. You got to lick your finger and pick them up. That's what the losers get.
You all get one piece starting. Nobody gets to eat it until you finish. And if you lose your slice.
You lose your slice, sorry. And you watch it get taken away from you. We put it in your hand, then we take it away just so you can smell it. It's bad. It's bad Murfreesboro, Tennessee pizza anyway, but still, you're hungry. That's the point. So this fight doesn't last long. So somebody must really be hungry for that slice because at 2:28 in the first round, it's over. And Donovan wins with an arm bar at 2:28. Right. He's 1-0, so wonderful for him. February 10th, 2018, this is Jonathan Ivy's Cage Fighting Championships 3.
Okay.
So, same poster, just with 3 on it instead of 2. Again, the Middle Tennessee Expo. It's where he always fights. That's his home club.
Yeah.
There it is. He fights Steve Stover this time, who is 0-1 coming in. And
not
this
to be
fight
confused with Stofers. Not
Steve Stover. He makes fine side dishes.
Incredible pot pies.
Very nice side dishes and very mediocre frozen lasagna. That's what he makes. That's how that goes. Yeah. Although the cheese on top, what you do with one of those, you make the frozen lasagna, You cook it a little extra. You burn the cheese. You take all the cheese off the top, and you throw the rest in the garbage. That's how you do it. And it's delicious. Throw the rest right in the garbage.
Throw that cheese on real pasta and move on.
No. Just eat it in a one forkful. Yeah, a whole tray. You get one big heaping forkful. It's like a thing of cotton candy. That's Italian cotton candy.
$24 cotton candy.
It's a heap. But those things aren't 20. They're like $12.
No, I'm telling you, they're like $18.
Oh, you're talking like the family size one. Yeah, those are those things. I'm talking your regular size, like you're for two.
I'm talking about get the big one, James, and you can get all that cheese for a real pasta.
Then you get 2 forks. That's all it is. You make like a thing about it. It's like it's like a tie stick. You do that on the fork.
Like
you turn it like a tie stick. It's Italian cotton candy, burnt mozzarella on a stick like that, and then you just eat it off of it while you watch TV.
That's what
wonderful.
They invest all the money in those things anyway. Everything inside is garbage. It's the shit on top.
Yeah, they need to have that brown cheese. That's that nice
crisp.
crunchy.
Yeah.
That's going to be if you're right. If it's 12, let's say the cost of one of those things is $2 to make. I feel like $1.50 of it's cheese.
I guarantee it.
And the rest is the cheapest lasagna noodles they can find, and whatever surplus tomatoes could be ground into that shit sauce.
And the meat probably comes from the Tiger King's dumpster.
Absolutely. The meat's
what
the
he
thing.
won't feed the tiger.
It's the rejected Tiger King things. They're like, I got a pack of bologna, says it's 3 years old and it's a different color. I'm not using it. We'll put it in the lasagna. Hold on. We got good cheese. We put it under and no one's going to notice. The cheese is melty. It's going to melt all over it. Ain't nobody going to know the difference. His name
Tiger King rejected meat. I think that's going to be my new Twitter name.
Rejected Tiger King meat. Yeah, I think rejected Tiger King meat is a good one. Rejected Tiger King bologna, if that fits, because that would be the funniest one. I think.
Discarded. That's so gross.
Surplus Tiger King bologna. There you go.
Shit that criminal meth heads won't eat, and tigers.
And fucking things that
starving tigers.
Things that criminal meth heads won't feed to tigers because they feel bad. That's how bad it is.
Things that criminal meth heads will not feed malnourished tigers that'll eat anything.
That'll eat anything, including them. Including their arms while they try to give it to them. Oh, my God. I bet outside of this fight in the parking lot was a Tiger King meat collection center where you pile up your discarded fucking. Anybody got expired meat? Put it on a pile there in the handicap
We have the
spot.
Stouffer's collection in the parking lot. That's the admission to this fight.
It is. Yeah, you have to bring like an expired lasagna. One expired lasagna is they check it for freezer burn. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Perfect. Oh, it's all. I can't even see lasagna under the plastic. It's just all ice. That's bad. All right.
Sometimes at comic shows around Thanksgiving, you bring 2 canned items and you get in for free.
Yeah.
This fight is 2 expired bologna.
Expired bologna. You can get 2 people in on an expired frozen lasagna, though. That's how that works. It's 2 on that one. If you get like a pack of expired bologna, it's only 1 ticket. They're pretty strict about it, I heard. I don't know.
Oh, my
they got a guy really going over it. We haven't even gotten to
so many flies at the entrance of this fight.
Well, they're there anyway.
Yeah.
It's an amateur MMA event. They're there anyway from just the people gathered to watch it, I feel like, draw their own flies. And then in Murfreesboro,
and the flies
Tennessee.
are nesting in the bit-off ears in the ring.
In the festering wounds of the combatants. Oh, Jesus Christ. So we haven't even gotten to any arrests yet, and they're all like these are all the craziest, funniest arrests this week too. That's the crazy part. Like, I'm trying to pace myself so my face doesn't hurt too bad by the end of this, because
I'm already having a great time.
I'm dying already, and this is it's so early. We're only 18 minutes in, and I'm dying. So he fights Steve Stover. With his wonderful stuffing and his amazing lasagna. His shit lasagna. He comes in with handfuls of mozzarella. That's his entrance. Throws it up in the air like powder.
2 forks.
The 2 forks. And he eats it. That's how he shows you how tough he is.
Lollipops.
That's what it is. Hey, I got an Italian lolly. It's an Italian fucking Tootsie Roll Pop. Just as good. So this ends in 1:42 this fight.
Fast.
Quickly, Donovan Salvato beats him with an ankle lock in 1:42.
Wow.
So Donovan looks like a comer.
Yeah.
Which is ironic when you find out what he's arrested for.
Uh-oh.
2-0 now for Donovan in the amateur circuit, in the Jonathan Ivey cage fighting circuit.
Yeah.
Next up, he must have skipped. Number 4. He's there for number 4. Okay. He skipped number 2. He was there for number 1 and number 3. July 14th, 2018. Jonathan Ivey's Cage Fighting Championships 4. This time it has a name, Jimmy.
God, what is it?
We should name these to differentiate them, right? Summer Smash. So
really?
Summer Smash. Jonathan Ivey's Cage Fighting Championships 4. Summer Smash. Coming to the Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Middle Tennessee Expo. Oh,
that's so dumb.
It's very dumb. This fight, he fights Caleb Miller, which in my mind, I dream he's Mayhem Miller's little brother, who's not any good at fighting, but he's really nice and he never gets arrested. Yeah. He's totally clean as a whistle. He just gets beaten. He goes, gosh, jolly gee, geez, that guy beat me good.
Yeah,
he goes
fresh off all his swimming that his parents put him through.
That's exactly it. Caleb's 1-1 coming into this fight.
Mm-hmm.
This fight, after the second round, Miller doesn't come out for the third round.
Oh, he's had enough of Caleb. He wants no more of this kid.
No, Miller doesn't come out. Caleb doesn't come out.
Oh, Caleb's had enough.
Caleb's had enough. He's had all he can take of Donovan Salvato after 2 rounds, and he doesn't come out for the third. They find him sitting in the discarded meat pile, just gorging himself, which is disturbing to all the spectators.
He was very hungry.
He was very hungry, yeah. That he knew he wasn't going to get that slice of pizza, and he just ran away, and he's like, I'm going to get at least 2 handfuls of bologna before they catch me. So this brings 3-0 for Donovan. So
he's doing great.
He is doing fantastic. Then he skips almost 2 years. He doesn't fight anymore. From 2018 to 2020, no fighting.
You think he'd be balls deep in it, doing as well as he is. 3-0. Jesus.
Yeah. You'd think that Jonathan Ivey would be offering him, at least 3 slices of pizza for his next fight.
Or you go out on top, James.
You know what?
Sometimes you got to retire.
He's going out like fucking John Elway. He's like, you know what? Walk into the
2
sunset
in a row?
here.
I can't do that again.
Nope, that's done. I'm in pain. No, this is March 7th, 2020 he waits until. So that's his last fight was July of 2018. And he's missed 5, 6, and 7 for Jonathan Ivey here in that time, because now it's Jonathan Ivey's Cage Fighting Championships 8 this time. And the name of this one?
Spring Fling?
Nope, you're close, though. That's the thing. It's not spring, though. It's not quite officially spring yet. It's still winter, so he's going to call it Winter Warriors instead. And he's now shortened it to CFC.
He kicks around Wonderland, I guarantee it.
Winter Wonderland of Warriors. How about Winter Warlocks in... No, that's too long, because then I got to put extra words on it. Okay, no. Shit. Hey, what about Warriors, John? All right, that's fine. Yeah, Winter Warriors. Good deal. Make the poster. No, same poster. Just put Winter Warriors on it this time. But still me on the front.
Throw some snow flurries in it.
There is. That's all it is. There's like, it's in blue. Things are written in blue, like that, winter blue, and there's some icicles coming off.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Swear, and I think the Summer Smash just had like flames on it. There was like flames on shit because it's hot.
What
it's
a
too
fucking
hot.
asshole.
Too hot. So this is number 8. He fights Jamie Vasquez this time, who is 8-2 coming into this fight.
Yeah.
So he's an experienced fighter, and he's probably fought in the last year and a half, which is good for him. Vasquez, though, I looked it up. He does no pro fights. So he just stuck to the meat circuit, which is the discarded meat circuit is, that's a stepping stone. It's not your destination.
Really
that's your path. That's an off-ramp. The discarded meat circuit. That's what I'm calling this. Anything that's MMA that's not like a top tier thing, I'm calling it the discarded meat circuit. Because you get in for discarded meat, and at that point, the guys in it are pretty much discarded meat.
They are.
Also, so it just works so many different ways.
So good.
The discarded meat circuit. I got to write that down. Discarded
And that's how they're likely being paid.
in discarded.
Yeah.
In Tiger King rejected fucking grocery store extras. Oh, this is disgusting. So,
God, it's so funny.
It's so funny and so gross. Speaking of gross, wait till we get to the crime in about 2 minutes here.
Boy.
This fight goes all 3 rounds. And it goes to the judges, which I'm sure
what do they say?
A prestigious panel, I'm sure, here. Sitting. What do you think they're working for? Holy shit. The judges are like Jonathan Ivy's mom. He's got a little brother, and he's got like some guy on Zoom from prison. He's going to also judge it.
And the people from Tiger King, all of them that are missing a limb. Just the limbless ones.
I want Joe Exotic, Carol Baskin, and fucking Doc Antle there. That's the panel I want to see judge. They have to agree on something.
Either Doc Antle's harem is 1 vote, or all the people missing limbs equals 1 person, so that's 1 vote.
That's 1 vote. So you want to add extra votes to this. You're going to add the staff votes,
I just want
too.
extra people in seats.
What about Carol's dead husband? Does he get a vote? That's the other thing. You got to think about
his
that.
His family certainly gets a vote.
But her current husband gets nothing, right?
Nothing. And he loves that.
Yeah, he's okay with it. Absolutely.
He's just there in a collar and leash anyway.
He's said the phrase, "I don't need to come," a lot. He said that a lot of times in his life, hasn't he? How many times do you think he said that, Jimmy? I don't need to come. What, 100? 1,000?
And not like
it's okay.
And not like a snarky wife.
No,
you know what I'm talking about?
no, not like that. Oh, I don't need to come. That's fine. No, not like that.
As he rolls over and falls asleep, that's all right. I guess I don't need to go. He just says it like, don't worry, it's okay.
No, I don't need to come. It's okay. And then he wanders
I don't like
away.
It anyway.
I don't like. It's okay. I feel bad afterwards. It makes me feel guilty. So then
it's a lot of cleanup.
And then he walks away in whatever silly costume she made him wear. Yeah. It's got a tail on it, for sure. Walking away with a fuzzy tail and blue balls is a very funny scenario for me, for that guy. I don't know why.
A chain lead.
A chain lead, yeah, just dragging behind him because she's done with it now.
What a fucking not a man, that guy is.
He knows, though. That's how you stay alive.
Yeah.
He knows that. He knows that's how you stay alive.
That's like, how you keep drawing wind in this house.
I understand how this works, and I want to stay alive. I need to stay alive.
I know the alternatives. Fucking asshole.
Oh, that's so fucking funny. So, did we say the decision yet? No, I don't think we did. It goes
We've
to
been
the
waiting.
judges. I think we just talked about the imaginary judge panel now forever. Wow, to get from let's go to the judges to Carol Baskin's husband doesn't need to come is fucking really a leap. I don't know.
It's a long walk.
We'll hop some fences over here on Crime Sports. We don't give a fuck.
Like an athlete running from the cops.
That's it. While people go, Todd, come on, behind him.
Todd, wait.
Todd, please. We know. Oh, Jesus, Todd.
We'll find you later.
Donovan, this is a loss. He loses.
Oh,
it's a
3-1.
Decision for Mr. Vasquez. So that is going to be 3-1. That is his last fight. Okay. Now, I don't know if that is by choice or because he's had legal incidents, because he doesn't seem very stable. Let's just put it that way. He might have a couple of problems, a screw loose here and there. Yeah. So on November 22nd, 2021, the Thanksgiving season, you're feeling you're feeling good.
I can literally remember that.
Oh, that's
that was
right
just
then.
a little bit ago.
Just happened. It just happened. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I can think about it. I'm like, we were doing just live. It was in Phoenix live show. Yeah, that's what that is. So he's got a roommate named Abel Sosa. Okay. Is his name, his roommate. Now, roommate, I'm using that term very loosely because Donovan is not on the lease, and from what I understand, he's also not welcome there. So
not supposed to be, and they don't want him anyway.
He's like, he's kind of forced himself in to be a, quote, roommate at this point.
Oh, boy.
I don't know if it was like, hey, can I stay here for a night? And then he just like, next thing you know, he had like 8 boxes there. So I don't know how it worked, but
oh boy,
he's kind of forced his way in. Now, apparently, according to Sosa here, there I have an ongoing argument that, the way Sosa puts it, even after everything's over, quote, has yet to be resolved. And the argument was that Sosa didn't want Salvato staying in his house, in his apartment, and Salvato had a difference of opinion and wanted to stay there. So that's the crux of the argument, which is it's a lot. I mean, if it's someone's house and you're not paying rent and they don't want you there, then you really don't have a lot to be mad about.
Yeah, but in the terms of friendship, where do you draw the line? You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. I mean,
do you want to not have this guy as your friend?
That's a good fucking point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
How many friends do you have? How willing to lose one are you? And are you going to stand your ground on some ticky-tack don't be in my house thing?
How close are you is a big thing as well. Are you, is this like an acquaintance that isn't like you're not real close to? And he's like, I'm staying at your house now. And you're like, are you? Wow. We hung out like twice and not for a long time. You were like my girlfriend's friend's boyfriend like 3 years ago. Like, I don't really know you that well.
And now you're going to stand on your I need my space?
Yeah. We got forced to talk to each other for an hour one night that time. That was it. Like, we don't. Now you're here.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So apparently, Donovan here, they get into a fight. And Donovan, being an MMA fighter here, seems to be a better fighter than Mr. Sosa.
Also, Donovan has just learned that you don't let this go and take it to the judges. You got to end this one early.
You got to end it early.
Get out.
Because Doc Annals is an unfair motherfucker, and we all know that. And his harem can go either way, so it's unpredictable when you go to the judges.
You better get in, get out, and get the job done.
You got to end it. And the way he did this, he certainly ends the fight, we'll say. Mm-hmm. I would put it that way. Apparently, he struck Mr. Sosa several times in the face and in the torso with closed fists, so he punched the shit out of this guy. Then they were down on the ground, wrestling around and tussling after this guy had been punched a whole bunch. I guess he
ground and pound. Yeah,
he clenched up on him. I guess he was like, "Oh shit, I better hold Donovan. I don't want to punch with him." So Donovan I don't know what position. I've been in a lot of fights in my youth, and I don't remember ever being in a position to do this, but somehow they were in a position. I'm trying to visualize this in a fight. Yeah. Okay. There's people fighting, and you see, like, usually their heads are sort of together. One guy's shoulder might be in someone's chest, all these different scenarios. They figured out a scenario where apparently, Mr. Salvato was in close proximity to Mr. Sosa's genitalia.
They 69.
I don't know if it was a 69 or if it was like if he was going to power bomb him, or if it was the other guy was getting the best of him and there was like a reverse cowgirl face sitting situation going on. I'm not sure. I'm not positive here. I can't.
One way or another.
That should be the first question every member of the media asks, though. Hold on a minute. How did he?
Reverse cowgirl or 69?
Was it? Who was in control of this situation here? So, reverse cowgirl 69. What are we talking about? So, while he's in this situation, Salvato decides to use his only recourse,
the teeth,
and bites Mr. Sosa's nutsack.
Wow!
Bites his testicles hard.
Yeah.
We'll talk through pants. He causes a large laceration. That's how hard he bit his fucking nutsack. Imagine having your nutsack bitten that hard that through pants it draws
can go through jeans.
A lot of blood. Like that's some gusto going after that fucking
ripped his sack with his teeth.
Through jeans. That is
my God.
Brutal. So the police arrive on the scene and there's broken glass everywhere and blood. And all this shit all over the place. And they're like, what the fuck? And there's one guy holding his ball bag with bruising all over his fucking face and everything. And Salvato already took off. He's like, I know when I'm not wanted here, obviously. He does have his dignity to keep intact after all. So he takes off.
And he has testicle blood in his mouth.
Well, yeah, you are going to think about your choices in life when you taste another man's testicle blood in your mouth. I think you're going to go, wow, am I doing the right things with my life?
Sometimes when you bite on things, whatever noise it makes, you can't ever forget that. You know what a chip sounds like in your mouth. You know what ice sounds like. Yeah. This guy now knows what testicle tear sounds like in his mouth.
When they crunch.
Yeah.
So the cop got Salvato's number from Sosa, and he just called him. Hey, maybe I can get maybe he'll just answer his phone. And he does. He just talks to him.
Hello?
How's it going? So he said that the cop said, hey, I'm a cop. You had to know that this was going to be something. You beat the shit out of your roommate and bit his nutsack. He's on the way to the emergency room with literally needing nutsack fucking sutures. This is not cool.
This is crazy.
So Salvato says, yes, a physical altercation did take place. Obviously. Yeah. He said, the strikes never happened. I never punched him all over his face and body, regardless of his black eyes and bruising. That just happened from bumping. He said it was grappling, and the injuries might have resulted from hitting different items in the house.
Okay.
They bounced off the walls. Yeah.
All I did was bite his nuts.
And then, so he's taken in. It's a 2.5-inch laceration on the scrotum.
Holy hell, that's
big. That's a lot of cut on your balls.
Boy.
One could fall out if that shit's open all the way.
For sure. That's a big window.
It's just hanging off a string there, fucking dangling. That's not cool. So, also multiple bruises, swelling all over his head. The guy knows how to throw punches. He's a fucking amateur or not. He has 3 wins. He beat the shit out of 3 guys who also came in with no shirt to fight for discarded meat. So, he's charged with bodily injury and domestic assault because he said he was staying there. So it's domestic assault. Sosa said he struck me in the face and torso several times with a closed fist and then bit my testicles. Yes. That's what happened. So there you go. He spends 12 hours in the Metro Nashville jail. Here, Salvato does, I assume, with everyone going, that's the nutsack biter.
There he is.
They probably kept him extra, like, for shift change. Like when the new guys came in, they were like, oh, come here. I got this guy fucking, check it out. Look what he did. He bit this guy's ball bag. It's crazy. And he showed him pictures of it on his phone. So here is Sosa. He writes on Facebook afterwards. Yeah. Okay, this is my favorite part of the whole fucking thing here. Sosa has a sense of humor about this. He says, quote, if you know this individual, do not trust your nuts around him. Literally, the evidence I will be using in court is a piece of skin that he managed to rip from my testicles. He tore the skin out.
Like he was Mike Tyson's ear bite.
At least that was like bit through. This guy tore it out like an animal rips out a fucking other animal's throat.
Dear Lord.
I received stitches at the VA hospital. We'll talk about why, because he's a Marine, this guy. Mm-hmm. He bit a Marine's nutsack. I don't think that's anywhere in the song there about from the shores of this to the whatever. That's a lot. I don't think getting our nutsacks bitten off is part of that song. So at the VA hospital, and multiple injections to prevent dental infection from spreading right on Veterans Day. He said,
on Veterans Day!
That's fucked up. That's fucked up. I salute you, soldier. He's like, if I could take my hands away from my ball bag, I'd salute you back. But I can't.
What a day to do that on.
Then he says, I should have good old Marine Corps eye gouged the son of a bitch, but so focused on maintaining control, never threw a punch. Victories are won with composure.
Yeah.
You know, that sounds good.
Defenses win championships.
When somebody punches you like 8 times, you got to return fire at some point, especially if you're in an enclosed space that you can't get away from them. Like,
right.
What are you doing exactly?
When your defense isn't stopping shit, you still got to maintain an assault of some sort.
I'm going to stay composed. I had a friend
dignify that punch with a return, sir.
I had a friend one time, this kid that's like a tough kid. We were like 14. He's a tough kid. He was always willing to fight. There was this one kid, and he grabs the kid by the shirt and fucking pushes him up against the wall. And he's like, I'm going to fucking kick your ass, man. And then he lets go, and the kid punches him right in the face. Right? He punches my friend right in the fucking face. And my friend like barely reacts. He reacts like if like a bug landed in your eye and you're like, oh, what the fuck? Like that's what he did. And he just got madder, and he grabbed him again and pushed him up against the wall harder. And he goes, I'm going to kick your fucking ass, man. And the kid punched him again. And he's like, you motherfucker. And I go, hit him already. Jesus Christ.
Are you going to do it or not?
You're in the fight now. He's already hit you. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And eventually he like snapped out of it and started hitting the kid, and the kid ran away. And it was like, what the fuck were you doing?
Come on, Ike Clanton.
When are you going to kick his ass?
Either get to fighting or get away.
Like, looking at my watch going, when is this? Is this a scheduling thing or what? Like, what are we talking about? I got an appointment right now, or I would. He was so mad, so it was fucking hilarious. So anyway, victories are won with composure. Mm-hmm. He said, then he tries to explain what happened a little more. Sosa says that, quote, while I was on the guard, I guess, I don't know if he meant ground. I don't know if that got mistranslated. And I tried
He's on the bottom
guard.
on the ground.
Okay.
That's the guard.
Okay. And I tried to stop him from choking me. Mm-hmm. He took the biggest chuck at my nuts, grasping on and tearing a piece of skin as big as a pinky. Yikes.
Oh, my God.
I received stitches across my sack, and now my nuts look like a scarecrow's face. I salute you, Mr. Sosa. Hat off to you, sir. You know what? That's hilarious. And
across my sack.
Across my sack, and my nuts look like a scarecrow's face. It's great. I give all the credit to that. That's just hilarious. Oh, Jesus Christ, man.
It's the most perfect thing. You know exactly what that looks like.
A scarecrow's face is what it looks like. So he then goes on to say, quote, I need to write a book or something about some of these stories I've encountered.
Right, you do.
Right?
You are a goddamn poet, sir.
Unlucky poet. The unlucky poet. Who can scarecrow's face? There is poetry to that.
It's poetic as fuck.
It is. Sir, you're deep, my friend. Deep. Who can clearly say they got their testicles bit by a professional MMA fighter during a fight? Well, technically he's an amateur, but we'll say either way. I'll wait. Nashville can be so wild that I've encountered more danger here than overseas to an extent. Geez, this guy's been in combat.
Nashville's worse?
Apparently. I don't know. According to him, I don't fucking know. His apartment is at least more dangerous.
It depends on who you let in, sir.
I dare you to go through all the records of just the last 2 wars, 20 years of war for the United States, and find me a testicle biting incident. And I bet you where a Marine was injured by having his testicles bitten by an enemy. I bet it's rare.
I'll bet you're right. I'll bet more Marines have had their nuts nibbled in Nashville than all of Fallujah.
All of it. All of Tikrit put together. Kabul has nothing on Nashville when it comes to ball biting. Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
Nutsack Nibbler of Nashville.
The Nutsack Nibbler of Nashville. Maybe that's the name of this episode. Nutsack Nibbler. Nibbler Nashville.
Can we say nutsack? Can that go on there?
Why not? Sure.
I don't know.
It's a sack of nuts. Maybe it's walnuts. Maybe it's pecans. I don't fucking know.
I don't know what their algorithm has, how they'll shadow ban nutsack.
Oh, no. We'll probably have twice as many listens as normal. Who knows?
Probably.
That's what'll happen. Been doing all these shows for all this long, and now
all we had to do was put Nutsack Nibbler in Nashville.
That's it. Done.
Number 1.
Anyway, that guy, he's awaiting court, I think, still on it. And
Really?
I mean, honestly, this guy doesn't seem like he's going to really press the issue that much as long as he's not coming around biting his nuts anymore. He seems like he's not going to really push it. So we're going to have a probationary situation or some shit like that.
You think so?
He's not going to go to prison for 10 years for biting his roommate's nutsack.
But unless Nashville takes domestic violence mad-ass serious, and they might in this situation.
Well, maybe.
It's a man's world. You're right.
I mean, I'm just saying, Tennessee doesn't have the staunchest record of that sort of thing, of being a haven for. Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Harsh domestic violence sentences.
I'm not sure. So that's Donovan Salvato. Anyway, he's waiting for all that. So that's just such a crazy story. We had to tell it, and I didn't know where else it goes. I just don't know where else it goes.
Don't worry, we'll get back to him later. He's destined for worse.
We'll get back to him on the next updates, but right now, let's do something we've done an individual. We did Rogowski when he got out of jail and all that, and some more details. We did Lenny Dykstra because more happened, obviously, after that. But we have a list now of people, and honestly, this could have warranted its own episode, whatever. But rather than squeeze cheesy, extra episodes out of it, we decided let's do this the correct way and give you a nice update episode on a few of our all-stars who really have tied it on. And we're gonna have a little death roll at the end of the show of people who have passed on since we've started. A little in memoriam we have, and then we have a quote, "They're good now, I think" section where they seem to be on a good path. We'll see how it goes after that.
They can also go awry.
Yes, because all of these people were good at some point. They were all good now. I mean, we'll talk about it. Up first, one of our favorites from way back. We did this episode. It does not seem like this long ago. October 2017, we did this episode. This is 4.5 years ago.
Yeah.
That is
in
fucking...
4.5 years, what did who get up to?
Jason Mayhem Miller, everybody.
Yeah. He was tweeting, right? He was the one that was tweeting from inside the house?
Yes, he was live fucking...
Live tweeting his arrest.
His police standoff. It wasn't even... he was having a police standoff after a chase. And he's live tweeting the shit. So we left off October 2017 when he was going to court for domestic violence.
Right.
And that's where we left him. So the next month, November of 2017, we'll pick... He just... doesn't miss a step, Mayhem. That was an episode that he wasn't ripe yet. I'm sorry. He was on the vine. He was a little too green, and I picked him a little early. But
feels like somebody may have told him that he's destined for greatness on a podcast.
Well, he is. Let me tell you, because he's going to be. I have a feeling this isn't the last update we're going to have on Mayhem Miller here. So, November of 2017, he pled guilty to the domestic violence, and he is given. Well, he has 124 days in jail, and he's released with credit of time served because he's given a user may fuck off 4-year suspended sentence.
Wow!
With 3 years of probation, which for him just means extra trips to the police station because he's going to violate his probation. Obviously, he's not going to live. He's not going to fly straight and right every day. So, he accepted a plea bargain on multiple domestic violence charges. And there he is. His attorney, Cameron Talley, said, quote, Jason is a great guy and I love him like a brother.
Oh, my God.
Wow, Cameron Talley. I got to write that name down because he, I feel like, is going to be up for silver-haired, middle-aged white man of the year.
He's a great guy. I love him. He beat
like
the
a
hell
brother.
out of a woman.
Like a after he just pled guilty to fucking beating the shit out of a woman. I love him. Great guy. Then he says, it's incredibly sad to see these things continue, or to see these continued police contacts, but I have faith he can straighten out his life.
Wow.
And this was the time where he said, it's time to straighten up and fly right.
Yeah.
It's time, man. This is
Here
it.
we go. Yeah.
Time to grow up. So that's November 27th, 2017. He's released from jail after serving 124 days for that. So January 11th, 2018. Not even 2 months goes by. Okay. He's arrested again. Mm-hmm. This time this is the weirdest fucking thing ever. He's found to be in possession of, among other things, and maybe the weirdest one of all, a bulletproof vest.
Jason.
Okay. Now, that makes me think he's up to something because he's not a guy who's usually involved with gunfire. No one that I know of has ever shot at him. So he doesn't need to walk around with a bulletproof vest. He's not Tupac. It's not a fashion statement. So this means like I'm going to do some shit and I'm going to wear this vest while I do it. You know, like to me anyway. Not only that, he's also found to be in possession of various other weapons, such as nunchucks. Nunchucks, really?
Mad illegal, aren't they?
I don't know. They shouldn't be for anyone over 9. That's one of those things that your desire to play with nunchucks goes away with your 11th birthday, doesn't it?
Yeah, goes away once you're done with Ninja Turtles.
Like when you're 9, you see nunchucks and you're like, fucking awesome, and you swing them around. Yeah. These are the coolest. And then you're like, these are stupid. How about a fixed club where I can just whack somebody? Why would I need to swing this stupid thing around?
Why do I need a broken club on chains? This doesn't make any sense.
I don't like this anymore. So anyway, he has various knives, a machete.
Who does he think he is?
It gets funnier. An axe. Like a battle axe, not like a wood chopping axe, a samurai sword, and other replica assault weapons.
My God.
Does he think he's a ninja?
He does.
He thinks he's a ninja. He's like, I have knives tucked in here. Did he have ninja stars? Did they leave that out? Is that various assault weapons?
Jason, you're a white kid from Southern California. Stop this.
Fuck are you doing? This is his probation officer found all this shit.
Oh, that's against parole, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They also found, in addition to this, human growth hormone.
Oh, boy.
And various other prescription performance-enhancing drugs that were obtained clearly without a prescription.
Illegally, yeah.
So he's got drugs and a shitload of weapons for a guy who is on probation like 3 times over for drugs and violence. So, excellent, Jason.
This is bad.
Excellent. You're really, what a fucking good job there. Then, right after that, he's held without bail at the Orange. Somehow he gets out on all of that shit after a while. He does a little bit does like a month that time. Gets out. Then he's being held without bail in Orange County, California, arraigned for vandalism, felony vandalism, causing $400 in damage or more, which he's constantly arrested for vandalism. That's his thing, because he breaks
shit all the time, yeah.
So he's arrested for that. Somehow he's out in September 2018 again. Mm-hmm. So he must have made bail at some point. And he violates his probation again by testing positive for THC and various opioids, which he's not allowed to take any of.
God damn it.
In his piss test. So back in jail for a little bit again. Yeah. Dude, this is crazy. It just never stops.
It is certainly a cycle, and he's in a lot of trouble.
He's in July 2019. He pleads guilty to that felony vandalism that he was being held without bail for, and a misdemeanor violation of a protective order that was against him as well. Mm-hmm. And at this moment, he was already in jail for a different vandalism charge. So he's got a lot of problems here. In July 2019, he pleads guilty to felony vandalism and the misdemeanor violation of a stay-away order. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, 1 year in jail and 3 years of probation.
Wow.
The felony stay away and the vandalism was for smashing a large marble table at his girlfriend's house. He smashed a large marble table, punched holes in the walls, and ripped doors off the hinges, and also derailed the garage door with his fucking body.
How do you do all that?
You go batshit crazy. And
that's all day.
That's what I mean. I'm going to smash this. Then he goes out in the garage, fuck this door, and rips that apart. He's taking other door, just going around the house smashing shit. Hulk smash, and he's just ripping shit apart. That's scary.
I can't imagine.
Well, especially if you're this woman, especially if the guy is Mayhem fucking Miller, you know what he's capable of. That's got to be terrifying for shit's sake with this
That's
fucking
a great
lunatic.
point.
Jesus Christ, man. I mean, hilarious, but not for her. Like,
no, not
if he did this in his house by himself, it'd be hilarious. But if this isn't even, he doesn't even live here. This is this poor woman's home, and he's just destroying it.
Somebody else's house.
If I can't live here, no one can walk in your doors. And he fucking rips them off. So he goes to jail for a while. He gets out, and he manages to kind of fly semi-straight until May of 2021. When he is up on another vandalism charge and attempted grand theft at the same time on this charge here. And he is sentenced to, here, you, sir, may fuck off again, 364 days in jail. So another year, but not prison. That's jail time. And 2 years probation. His probation, if done consecutively, is for till he's like 130 years old at this point.
He can't get a traffic ticket. Everything.
No. He's going to die on probation. He's going to get buried with an ankle monitor on. I just have a feeling.
Anything against the law is over for him.
Holy shit. Well, you would think that that's what he would do. And his 364 days in jail doesn't amount to much because he was in there on different things. So he gets a lot of credit for time served. When he's in jail already for something else, he gets credit for time served on some other shit. So it's silly. It's ridiculous. So he's out again in September of 2021. So sentenced to a year in May, and he's out in September. I don't know when he got out, but he's definitely out at this point because he is in a bar fight this time.
Just recently.
September 2021. He's in a goddamn bar fight. The man he got in a fight with wound up with broken ribs because...
Why is he in a bar in September? Those should have been closed.
September 2021, there was bars open, I'm sure.
And I guess they were starting to open back up.
They were opening up. And I don't know what they were fighting over, but they got in a fight over some shit. Broken ribs. He is charged with 2 felonies for assault and battery. So, not terrific. Both parties declined to press charges. I guess the guy didn't want any more, but the police said, well, you have broken ribs, and this happened in public, so we're charging him anyway, whether you want to or not. That's what happens. So the victim didn't file the police report, but after the hospital visit, he obviously got the shit beaten out of him, and they got it out of him what happened, and then they have to call the cops. The cops came.
We have to, right.
There you go. So he's charged with felony assault and battery. So not great. That's September 2021. 3 days later, Jimmy.
What? He's out?
Oh, 3 days later. He's not in jail. 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 days later.
Oh, boy.
Fuck, man. He is being held now after he's arrested at 3 o'clock in the morning on $1.385 million bail now. That is because, according to a woman who called the police responding to in San Fernando Valley, they arrived and found the woman, the caller, exhibiting signs of physical trauma around her face and neck, like she'd been hit and choked. Miller then did not cooperate with responding officers.
Why would he?
Started acting crazy, which led to a physical struggle with the cops, which then had them taser him multiple times.
Holy shit.
He had to be tasered multiple times to be restrained because they were upset that he beat a woman up. And he was like, what the fuck, guys? So there we go. At this point, I don't know if he's made bail or if he's still sitting in jail. I would assume he's got to still be in jail.
He's got to stay, right?
This is domestic violence number God knows how many fucking times.
He can't keep his hands to himself.
He's on like quadruple probation. this is insanity. And 3 days before
quadruple
this,
doses of anything that he puts in his body, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, and 3 days before this, he was charged with felony assault and fucking battery.
Right.
I think he needs a timeout. If anybody needs a long timeout, it's fucking Jason Mayhem Miller. He needs to chill because this is crazy. You can't go around beating up women and smashing fucking tables and ripping off garage doors and beating up guys and beating up you can't do this. This is crazy.
He'll fight anybody.
He needs to be like cuffed at all times. Like in public, you need to you have to be handcuffed behind your back too. We're not even none of this front shit.
Or in his pockets.
Or in your hands in your pockets, mister. Yeah. So yeah, that's Mayhem Miller. He's out there or in jail or something. So that's an update on him though, because he's had a lot of problems.
L.A. is not safe as long as he's there.
Nowhere is safe with him. He could be anywhere at any time. He could just pop up with that crazy look in his eyes and a samurai sword.
But LA's like New York in that there's crazy people on the street, and people don't just walk by crazy in LA. They engage it, and he's gonna fucking kill somebody.
He is dangerous. He is really, because he's still a big guy who knows how to fight really well. He's super fucking dangerous, and he's clearly not mentally stable.
No. And he's fairly young.
Oh, yeah, he's a young guy, not mentally stable. He's got to have, I'm just not my medical opinion, but there's got to be some form of CTE involved here, I would assume. Or
likely, yeah.
There's got to be something going on with his brain because he's not right in the fucking head, obviously.
No, not at all.
It's beyond like, oh, he makes bad choices. It's almost like a compulsion to get arrested. Like he's lonely.
To be medicated, and he needs a very strict schedule of places he needs to be, like therapy, job, therapy, job, every other day therapy.
He needs structure is what he needs. He shouldn't be anywhere at 3 a.m. That's the thing. He should be sleeping at 3 a.m.
resting up for his job the next day.
That's right. He's so tired from the day before that he needs to sleep. Yeah, day before.
He needs to be like making big rocks into little rocks or something.
Can anybody have anything that can keep Jason Miller busy? If you have any, like a large property with rocks, and we could just
heavy machinery, something that makes him have to sleep the night before to work it.
He'll get paid and everything, and we'll let him graze and stuff. But I feel like just for society, this would be like a public service to give him a job, like in the mountains somewhere, like where he can't hurt anybody because no one's around to hurt him.
Somewhere away with heavy machinery so that he can, if he's going to hurt anybody, it's just himself.
And if he has to, we'll make him feel real important. Call him like the regional supervisor of the whatever the fuck. Like, it's all good. I don't give a shit what we do. We just need to get him away from people.
Give him an unbelievable title that pays menially.
Let's move on to our next subject who's been in the news and had some issues. Adrien Broner.
Oh, yeah,
Remember him?
Oh, man.
The boxer. He is quite the fucking, he was always a goddamn lunatic.
Yeah.
Anyway, but now Adrien Broner, it's a kind of a quick one here. This is October 2021 this happened, so very recently. He is arrested in Kentucky on an outstanding warrant from Chicago. So he gets arrested at like near Cincinnati, that area of Kentucky, as a fugitive from another state. And this is after he pled guilty to misdemeanor charges of assault and unlawful restraint in 2019, after we covered him. And then a warrant was issued for his arrest after violating his probation. So he pled guilty to 2019 to the misdemeanor charges, like we said, and here he is here. Now,
wasn't he also in the news for, remember that girl, that Cash Me Outside girl who was like 14 when that happened on Maury? Do you remember her?
Yeah.
She goes by Bad Barbie now on on he got in her DMs asking her out. She's like, "Yo, I'm 17." He's like, "Oh, my bad, girl."
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
He didn't know.
No.
Had no idea. He just saw millions of followers and was like, "Bad Barbie, I want to fuck her."
Hey, look at that. All right. Yeah. She's a woman. Why not?
He's a lunatic.
A girl at that point. So maybe not, Adrien. So the thing he's pleading guilty for is, this is the report, quote, he's accused in the lawsuit and criminal case of pinning a woman he didn't know on a couch in June of 2018 and kissing her against her will as she struggled to free herself.
Oh, my God, Bad Barbie, you dodged a bullet, girl.
Yeah, this guy, he's fucking terrifying. Terrifying.
Terror and
fighting. The lawsuit said that one of his friends had to pull him off the woman after people started taking pictures of the assault. They were like, hey, Adrien, maybe stop, and finally yanked.
Yeah.
So his own people had to restrain him. Like, this wasn't
filming
even
this rape, sir.
You're going to get in trouble. So he's sentenced to probation for that. And then he's got another hearing this year, or he had another hearing last year that he didn't appear on. So that's where the arrest warrant came from when he was supposed to be there. He's additionally ordered to enter a, quote, intensive outpatient treatment program, which he, of course, never did, obviously. So a second warrant for his arrest was issued in August for that. So, he's dealing with that right now. That's his issues.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Now we'll get to some of the really deeper ones here. This one's actually not that much either, but it's a crazy one, but not that big. Cody East. Remember him? Tyler's brother. Tyler Beast East, who we covered in the last at least 2 years. He was shot and killed.
Right.
He beat the shit out of a woman. Yeah, dragged her out in the front yard and continued to beat her until a neighbor came over and shot him to death. So that's...
Trailer parks is not a place to beat a woman outside.
Not in public, yeah.
No,
whatever goes on in the
neighbor.
trailer, that's your business, right? That's how trailer parks work. But out in the main courtyard,
out in the park, Jesus.
Hey, my kids are playing out here. What the fuck? I made my kids go outside so I can smoke meth, and now they're playing out here. So what are you doing?
I was trying to keep the debaucherous behavior away from them. You're just putting it right in their face,
right in their ass. Look at this. So Cody East, March 16th, 2022, which is as recent as it fucking gets here, a week ago.
Yesterday.
He is arrested following a domestic violence incident in Albuquerque.
Keeping the family.
Yeah, he just got out of jail on Tuesday, which is crazy. He's facing charges of child abuse, battery, and false imprisonment of a household member. That's his charges.
What?
According to the police here, he had an altercation with his wife and is accused of refusing to let her and the kids out of the car. I don't know from the outside or inside. The woman told deputies he made threatening comments and pushed her when she tried to stop him.
Yeah,
and
you can't do that.
Then wouldn't let them out of the car after that once they got in the car. So
terrorizing people.
That's fucking nuts. Yeah. So he has... He's due for shit on that. He also, when they arrested him, looked him up in the old computer. He had 5 outstanding warrants for traffic-related violations as well.
Yeah, those tend to pile up when you're in prison.
And then you beat the shit out of your, or you hold your wife and kids hostage, and then next thing you know, they tend to find those other warrants, and here you go. Here you are. So, he's going to be in jail for a little bit here while he figures that out.
Idiot.
Now let's get into Joey Barton.
Okay.
Joey Barton, as you might remember, is a soccer player and had just a crazy fucking past. He's one of our craziest fucking episodes, Joey Barton. He's known as...
Did he get involved with young girls?
No, it wasn't young girls. That was Adam
Drugs?
Johnson or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was drugs. Yeah.
It was all sorts of shit. Just crazy. He's always getting in fights and doing crazy shit. I think he got a fight with a cab driver at one point. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like, he'll fight a cab driver at 2 a.m. while he's drunk. The guy who's driving him. So, in 2019, he had an issue where he had to go to trial for an assault on another team's manager.
Right.
Because he got a job as a manager.
Yeah.
So he was a manager of Bristol Rovers there.
Right.
I guess the Barnsley manager, Daniel Stendel, he beat him up, apparently, is what they're saying. The prosecutor's name, and this is amazing. It's so English and hilarious at the same time. Prosecutor Ian Goldsack. So much nutsack talk in this fucking episode.
Yeah, if the other guy
Goldsack.
had a little more gold in there, maybe it wouldn't have torn so easy.
Goldsack. The kids he makes are amazing. Come gather around the Goldsack. Who wants some? So the prosecutor said there was tension between the two teams, including, I guess, there was a handshake between Barton and Stendel that the other manager took as a, quote, to be an intimidating gesture toward him. So they continued, and then they had another match 7 months later. And while he was in court, this is funny. He's in fucking court here. Yeah. Barton, I guess, confronted Stendel during the match. And after the final whistle, Barton was, quote, still very worked up and used some foul language toward him, which Stendel did not fully understand, but realized he was being insulted. So apparently, also, Goldsack, I just have to say, when
good.
I have to tell the story through Goldsack, because then I get to say, then Goldsack said this.
Yeah.
So Goldsack added that Barton ran past a number of people after the match and entered the tunnel behind Stendel and went after him on purpose. He said, then Goldsack said that Mr. Stendel felt a push from behind and fell forward, hitting his face against that tunnel structure.
Oh, shit.
He was knocked to the ground, and when he looked up, he saw the defendant passing him. He believed him to be responsible for what happened. Then the prosecutor, Goldsack, he said, quote, Mr. Barton did not stop, did not make any apology, and did nothing to acknowledge what had taken place.
Okay.
Not only did he injure him, just rude, just plain. He's like, that is not very English of him. It was very rude.
Didn't even stop to at least say apologize.
Pardon, sir. Not even a pardon. I got not a pardon, nothing. I get it. I didn't expect him to be warm and hover over me and
blasted him and kept going.
Nursed me back to health, but he could have just went, all right, and just kept on going. That would have been fine. I'd have taken that. No, nothing.
Not even in it.
Isn't it? Boom, crash. Isn't it? And he just keeps walking by.
Painful, isn't it?
Isn't it? No, just isn't it. That's it. All right, isn't it? Yeah. Walks away. He just walks away.
That would be amazing. All right, isn't it?
I want to see a movie where that happens.
Blasted into the fucking subway tile wall.
I want that to be an episode of The In-Betweeners I didn't see. So they have footage which showed a bloodied Stendel, the other manager, being helped back to the changing room, all fucking bloodied up and shit like that. So they showed the jury's photographs of his injuries and said the most serious injuries were to his mouth, including a upper right incisor tooth being moved out of the bone.
Ouch.
So loosened
he blasted
up a tooth
him
there.
hard.
With some associated nerve damage as well. After more than an hour of translation difficulties, because this guy is German, so there's things going on with the Crown Court and German shit. They said it's just not right to struggle on. And they said a new trial date would be fixed after it could be worked out how to bring Mr. Stendhal to the UK to give his evidence, because they were just showing footage and all the other witnesses. But the judge pointed out that the trial had already been postponed for a year because of COVID, and it was the oldest case on Sheffield Crown's books. So we got to get rid of this case. He said the counsel in the trial would look at the legal situation to see if an exception to current travel bans could be made in the service of justice. The service of justice!
Cross international borders to find out if he busted your tooth or not.
Fuck, man. So they're waiting on that still. But in the meantime, while waiting for the results of that, Joey stays busy.
Staying busy, yeah.
He's staying busy. This is what I mean. In between assaulting people on the outside, you got to bring the violence into the home as well.
Oh, Joey. Fucking
asshole. So July of 2021 is when this comes out. He got arrested on June 2nd for, Jesus Christ, for some pretty nasty domestic violence shit here. His wife, Georgia, was injured in the assault here in southwest London. It was 2 days before their second wedding anniversary. Very
Lovely.
Romantic. Yeah. He left his wife with a head injury, they say. A spokesman for the...
I said, where do you want to go to dinner?
Yeah. I said I don't care. Where do you want to go? And
say it, goddammit. Just pick a place. I'll fucking hit you.
What are you doing? Why are these people? Why are all these guys? It's all domestic shit with these guys. Why do they keep beating their fucking? Stop beating your goddamn wives up. What is wrong with you people?
Is it the just raw gladiator desire to be in some sort of confrontation?
Well, at least the MMA guys were talking brain damage, so maybe we can put part of that. But I don't know if Barton has brain damage or not. What the fuck is he doing?
It's soccer.
It's a soccer play. I know they have headers and they bump into each other, but it's not the same level as being constantly punched, I don't think, is it? Can it be the same?
It can't.
It can't be. Or football. The old thing was Vince Lombardi taught everybody you block with your forehead, not with your arms.
Yeah.
No, I don't need any arm blockers, he said, or shoulder blockers, and none of that shoulder blocking shit. You block with your forehead. So the thing was on every play to stick your forehead, bash it into the guy as hard as possible, and use it to drive through the guy. That's what you were supposed to do.
And then we'll name the championship trophy after it.
Yeah, well, he didn't fucking know, but that's what he did. He was like, right. I know where I'm going. I did that every goddamn day because he was a lineman too.
Right,
he was
I'm calling
guard.
genius plays today.
Shit, so it's crazy. So they say Joseph Barton of Widnes, Cheshire, is due to appear on bail on Monday, July 26th, charged with assault by beating, which sounds very British. It's happened at the place. He's arrested. The couple 2 years ago. They have 2 children, Cassius and Pieta, and in spite of the charge, a couple weeks later, Georgia uploads a picture to social media, his wife, and says, "Happy Father's Day. The kids absolutely adore you. Thank you for everything you do to them." To them?
For them?
I don't like to them as a fucking...
I don't either.
That sounds bad. But for them would be better.
It is obvious that she does not like him.
She mentioned nothing about herself or anything, but still...
Not a word.
Posting there. So here is what happened, allegedly, here. Barton is charged with grabbing his wife by the throat.
Oh, boy.
They were drunk and had drank, quote, 4 or 5 bottles of wine each.
That's a lot of wine.
Each, Jimmy. Holy shit.
Remember we had 3 at dinner and I was blasted.
We went out to dinner, the 4 of us with Emily and Sarah, and we had a dinner together because we rarely get to all be in the same place at the same time. We live in 3 different parts of the country. So we had a nice dinner and we had 3 bottles of wine. We really were like, fuck it. We'll have another bottle of wine. We had 3 bottles of wine and we were all shit hammered. There was 4 of us. And you drink somewhat. Like, I don't drink really, so for me.
I'm pretty good at it, and I was hammered.
We were fucking tanks. So 4 or 5 bottles each is like beyond shit-faced. That's too much, man. That's a lot of wine.
I buy a 6-pack of wine at the grocery store, and it will last me a week and a half, depending on if I eat a lot of pasta that week. If I drank all of that, James, you'd never see me again. I'm sure I would die from that.
And that's still a lot of wine. You're drinking if you're putting a 6-pack of wine away a week, that's still a good amount of wine. 4 or 5. In a night, they went through 8 to 10 bottles of wine. Imagine the headache you'd have from that. The headache. You'd wake
James,
up.
The diarrhea. Forget the headache. The black shit you would have.
I was going to say, it'd be like,
you would have tar fall out of your ass.
My body has just opened up and it's bleeding. It's not good. So apparently, after they drank 4 to 5 bottles each, he grabbed her by the throat and kicked her in the head.
I can't believe he can stand.
No, but I mean he kicks balls for
that's
like
not good.
Why you kick? That's what I'm saying. Like that's what you've chosen, the thing that you're best at, to fucking attack your wife's head.
Right.
So apparently there's an argument, and the wife's lawyer, his lawyer said that this is the problem. Later on, she changes her story. After the incident, she changes her story and says that she was injured accidentally when they were having an argument, and her friends intervened and she fell down. That's her new story. She said, we had 4 or 5 bottles each, so they came over and I fell down because I was so drunk. Meanwhile, she had a golf ball-sized bruise on her forehead and a bloody nose. Yeah. That's you got kicked there.
That's some pretty good evidence.
And she was the one who called the cops and said it happened too. That's the other thing. So they have all those statements, and then they said they're not going to be able to call her as a witness because now she's saying it hasn't happened. Apparently, what was the fight over? Families. Their family, this one. No, your mom. Well, your brother's a fucking loser. He hasn't had a job in 3 years, and we fucking gave him money to pay his rent last year, and he's still not doing shit. And well, your fucking father's an alcoholic. The normal shit that you shouldn't escalate into physical violence, especially 2 years into a marriage. Like this isn't the first time they've discussed their families. This is just we've drank 10 bottles of wine between us. So if we argue,
mother's a cunt is fighting words.
Well, no matter what they were arguing about, if they were arguing about getting new furniture and one wanted a sectional and one wanted a regular and a love seat, it would come out your mother's a cunt in the halfway through that anyway after 5 bottles of wine. You know what I'm saying? It would somehow morph into, well, your mother's a cunt. How's that? Huh? Yeah. That's what I think of people who
That's what I said.
Like sectionals because they're fucking ugly. That's what I mean.
Like your mother.
Like your mother's no flexibility with them. You got to put them in one place. And that's where you put the TV. Where do you put the TV? Huh? Where do you put it? What a ridiculous fucking argument.
Put it up your mother's ass.
Right in your mother's, in her butthole. Yeah. Going outside. Just wanders off. But no, that's
how it should end.
That's what I mean. That's how the fight should end. Not, I think I'll grab you, choke you, and kick you in the head in front of our friends, mind you. That's the other thing. That's how little control he has. This happened in front of their friends, which is not something you want to do in front of the company for multiple reasons, obviously. It's fucking insane. And
if he's willing to let them witness that extreme, like what has happened before this. Yeah.
Thank you. What goes on behind closed doors when there's 4 bottles of wine each involved? Jesus. So she writes a letter to the court. She sends a letter to the Crown Prosecution Service, followed up with 2 emails as well. She's really...
Just want to make sure you got the letter.
Yes. She has given an account some 8 months later after the incident, and in the Crown submission, it's plainly an attempt to exculpate her husband. So they're like, we don't believe you. Other people had seen it. They said what she is suggesting is that the injury was caused accidentally when friends intervened. And they said it's just not believable. The court heard, now Barton, his lawyer said the issue in this case is that Mr. Barton denies assaulting his wife at all.
Right.
So... he said it didn't even happen at all. No, I don't even remember her falling down accidentally. I think she made the whole thing up, called the cops, and and all of our friends are making it up too. So
she was allergic to the wine and grew a golf ball in her face.
You know how that goes. That happens a lot, though. That's very common. It's a very common thing here. So Joey Barton is awaiting stuff here, awaiting court dates and issues, because this has been taken out of the wife's hands as far as pressing charges.
Good.
And is into the the state's hands. So that's for the best. Yeah. Because God knows what he told her, if you testify against me.
Right.
So now let's go on The couple we have left are, they're fucking
Juicy. Yeah.
crazy. Let's do it this one here. One of our all-time favorites. And really, like for social media, the most posted about, the most interacted with, because she's one of the biggest fuck-ups we've ever had on this show and continues to persist. She's the Mayhem Miller of women is really what she is.
It's fascinating.
Tammy Sytch. Sunny, obviously, the wrestler.
Staggering how little she learns.
It's so funny because she goes through these phases where she's like, I just went to rehab. I'm fucking clean. I'm so mad I was such a loser a little bit ago, but now I'm fine. I'm good now.
I'll be fine. Get on my OnlyFans.
Get on my OnlyFans. It's sort of gross, but that's fine. Just, you wanted to jerk off to me when you were 14, so now you can do it.
Sorry you didn't know that all it took was a couple of oxys back then.
Yeah, apparently, if you judge by the episode and what she and everyone who's ever known her has said about her. So, and fine, you want to spread it around. But we're just saying she's a fucking disaster.
She really is.
She actually did I believe it was after our show where she did a piece with Sean Oliver of Kayfabe Commentaries. It might have been beforehand, but it was one of her periods of sobriety.
Yeah.
And Sean talked about in his book about how, like, he was trying to get a hold of her they were going to do this interview. And then he called one day to be like, okay, yeah, what date are we doing it? And instead her boyfriend answered the phone and was like, yeah, she's in rehab. Like, she just went to rehab like 5 minutes ago. So she's got a commission for at least 28 days or whatever. So
shocking.
Yeah, it was one of those things. So then she came out and she was done and she was, cleaned up and said she was clean and did the whole interview. And she was sharp and she was clearly not like fucked up in the interview or anything like that. She was with it at times because she's really smart too. That's the other problem. But she just has she's got a way about her. I don't know what it is, but the police just can't live without her.
She loves booze.
She's got a way about her. Oh.
I like the way you booze.
And she doesn't even need a reason. This is good. It all works. Billy Joel was fucking prescient as shit. So we'll go back to 2019. Okay. This is when her problems kind of are after we were there. So she is arrested in Seaside Heights, New Jersey on February 23rd, 2019.
Yeah.
This is post Tammy's good now and all this shit, right? So she is arrested here and she's put in jail. And she's going to be in jail for a while because she's had a lot of DUIs. Yeah. She served 8 months in jail in 2018 for 3 different DUI arrests.
Right. When we covered her, she was still in jail for that.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I mean. We're cross it over. She got out for those DUIs, and in February of 2019, she got another one. Another one here. She was also summoned for having a, quote, open alcohol container in a motor vehicle, consumption of alcohol in a motor vehicle, and reckless driving. So not only was she drunk, she didn't just get pulled over because she was going 5. She was fucking driving recklessly while drinking.
They pulled her over because she was drinking. They didn't stop her on a taillight. They're like, that bitch has got to be drunk.
I'm smelling alcohol. Step out of the car, ma'am. She was like a pillaging cowboy. She was like driving, weaving in and out of lanes, going like, woo! Pouring fucking tequila in her throat, hanging out of the sunroof, and then popping back in. It was obvious. It's pretty obvious. So the Ocean County Sheriff's Office officer also wrote her a summons for, quote, failure to stop at a stop sign, driving the wrong way on a one-way street.
Oh, my God.
Careless driving, and, of course, driving with a suspended license. She's got no fucking license. She shouldn't be driving anyway. She just got out of jail for multiple DUIs. Think she has a driver's license right now?
In her defense on the stop sign charge, you can't really see stop signs when you're going the wrong way.
That's the thing. That's a really good point. She's like, I just saw silver, Your Honor. I thought...
This There's a silver octagon. I couldn't
I
tell
saw
what it
silver. I saw a couple of bolts, and I was like, okay, I know what that means. It means carry on. Proceed. Keep on driving. It means take another sip.
In the eyes of the law, you got to stop at that intersection. And had she been going the right way, she'd have known that.
She'd have probably saw it. I would call that reckless and careless.
Yeah.
And driving the wrong way on a one-way street, which is
Idiot.
wonderful. That's just fantastic. While you're shit-faced drinking. While they're pulling her over. Because, like, you know when you get pulled over and you got to, like, you start, like, thinking about, okay, what do I have? Do I have anything illegal? Do I have this? Am I, how good of a position am I in here? You know, you start thinking all these different things.
What
how do
can
I not
leverage here?
Well, not only that, just how can I not? Let's make sure I'm not going to end up in jail at the end of this. I feel like is my whole thing. That's where I'm looking at. Let's make sure this happens where I don't end up in a bad spot in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So for her, when she sees those lights go on, she's got to look down at a bottle of booze.
Yeah.
Look up at the clearly wrong way she's driving. And, like, the car's parked the opposite direction of her on both sides of the street. And go,
and
shit.
All the red reflectors in the road.
Yeah. And go, fuck. I can, if I put the, shit. Well, no, because I just took a sip. Damn it. Do I have gum? Is that? Fuck it. I'm just going to jail. Like, at some point, you just got to go, whatever. Just get out with your wrists together.
Yeah.
Take me away. I'm fucked. So she also had outstanding traffic warrants from the Holmdel Police and the Knowlton Police Departments as well. So she was released to the custody of the Holmdel Police Department, then released again to the custody of the other police department. She did a tour of New Jersey police departments, which I think is fucking hilarious.
Holy Christ.
They're like, whoop, one more. You're popular today. Come on.
It's a bad group of police departments to go visit.
Oh, my God. What a fucking disaster. So she has to go back to prison, obviously. And she's on fucking parole for DUIs, and she gets another. That's an especially bad one, too.
Truly.
Like you said, if she was driving fine and had a taillight out and happened to be, you blew a .09, or, you're over the limit.
Not good. Yeah.
This is just, wrong fucking way, one-way street, bottle of booze. Like, you can't get any worse.
There's
I don't
way
give
to
a
talk out
fuck.
of that.
No. Nothing says I don't give a fuck like driving recklessly down the wrong way of a one-way street while drinking booze from the bottle. Nothing says I don't give a fuck.
That is really putting all your eggs in one basket that there will not be a single cop down this road.
Nope, none. I can get away with this. Fuck them. They're never out at this time of night.
I'm going to double down so hard on I'll bet you there's no cops. I'm going to go the wrong way.
I'll go the wrong. I don't even need to fucking go this way. Fuck this whole shit. So she is paroled. Obviously here. She's paroled after her lawyers petitioned her release at a hearing the week before she's paroled to go to work and all this type of shit. She needs to make money, blah, blah, blah. So she's out. This was, she ends up in jail. That's 2019. She goes back to jail. She's paroled again in February, February 25th of 2020. She gets out. That's when she's paroled, but then she was originally supposed to get out March 25th, but because of COVID, they let everybody out that was scheduled in the next month. They're like, let them out now. So clear out. If anyone's going to have a disease, it's going to be her. Clear her out. Yeah. She's a petri dish, everybody. Get her out of here.
COVID doesn't stand a chance with this woman.
It's going to be magnetically attracted to her. She's going to get us all sick. So July 2020.
Yeah.
Fucking very few months go by. Yeah. Can't even get out how silly this is. She is arrested again, incarcerated in the Monmouth County Correctional Institution there. Arrested early in the morning, has no bond also. Yeah. The charges are listed as, there we go, let's have a list of charges. Eluding a police officer, contempt, contempt to violate a domestic violence restraining order.
Oh, God.
Operating a motor vehicle during a second license suspension, and violating a domestic violence restraining order. Again, so she 2 counts of that. She has to go to court for that. She's on fucking parole. Obviously, that's going to get her a parole violation as well. She said, and this was right after, this is what she said when she got paroled, quote, she said that she was looking forward to starting the next chapter in her life and she wanted to spend more time with her mother, who was in a nursing home. So, she said, quote, "The incident which led to this last incarceration stemmed from some major misunderstandings." Really?
I thought I could be around him. I thought I could drive.
I thought, I swear to God, I misunderstood which way directions on streets are, and I really thought this was a north when it was a south. However, I accept... I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It is fascinating that she did all of that with that temper sober.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. She said, however, I accept responsibility and have used this time to make a better me and put my past mistakes behind me. I've now served my sentence for the Pennsylvania and New Jersey issues and will focus on the future. God gives his toughest battles to his strongest warriors, and I will bounce back better than ever before. I am the Taminator. I'll be back.
Did she say that?
That's how she signed it off. I am the Taminator. I'll be back. So,
not bad.
She's
where?
She'll come back, all right. Yeah. Don't worry. That's what I hope she said that as she was walking out of jail, because they were like, "Oh, we know."
Did she say that at the steps of the courthouse?
Jesus fucking Christ! So she's good now, everybody. She's going to spend more time with her mom. She's in a nursing home. Her poor mother. Right. This poor lady. I mean, obviously, this is no time to drink and do drugs and violate restraining orders and all this sort of thing. She says she must be one of God's strongest warriors because she's been given such a hard path here.
She's the Taminator.
She's the Taminator.
It's a hell of a warrior.
I'll be back. So, January the 14th, 2022 comes around, and nice to see people getting out back there in the world again. Things are happening. She was staying at home, actually. Everybody else is going out. She's like, you know what? Let's get cozy inside, where she is charged with threatening to kill her boyfriend with a pair of scissors.
Oh, my God. That's serious.
Oh, yeah. They allege it's a domestic dispute. She raised a pair of scissors in the air above him and threatened to kill him with them.
Oh, my God.
This was after all sorts of altercation going on, fighting with each other and all that sort of thing. Police, when they showed up, said they believed her to be under the influence of drugs and or alcohol at the time of the incident.
Of course.
Obviously, they said, quote, she appeared to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol when she raised the scissors above the head there. They said he wasn't injured, luckily. She is booked and on charges of making terroristic threats and weapons possession.
Wow.
Because scissors, if you threaten to kill someone with them, now they're a weapon. That's how it works.
Damn right. Yeah.
That's how you turn non-weapons into weapons. You threaten to kill someone with them, and they're capable of doing it. So,
that'll
fair.
do it.
And terroristic threats isn't good at all. A judge released her from jail with conditions that include weekly check-ins with the court and a prohibition on having any weapons. She's basically like the TSA now. Like she can't get a nail clipper on her. She'll be in fucking trouble.
And she can't have more than a couple ounces of liquid.
3 ounces of liquid, and it has to be alcohol free, but 3 ounces just in case. Otherwise, you can dilute some alcohol in there and you wouldn't even notice. So, she faces all these charges. That's January 14th, 2022. So she's released. So you'd think, oh my God, somehow they didn't keep me in jail after multiple other domestic charges that I've had and all these DUIs. I better fly right? Instead of doing that, February 24th, 2022, she's charged with multiple traffic violations, including another fucking DUI.
Tammy!
Tamuel, calm the fuck down. Timothy, you have got to relax.
Is that 10?
I think it's like 8.
It's got to be.
It's got to be 8. That's a lot.
It's got to be upwards. It's close to double digits. This is so bad. She's in so much trouble.
Also, driving with a suspended revoked license. Yeah, she did almost a year in prison for DUI, and now she has 2 more DUIs after that she's got to answer for.
Oh, Jesus.
Here are all of her charges. I have a nice list of them here. Operating under the influence of liquor or drugs, driving after driver's license/registration suspended or revoked, careless driving, likely to endanger person or property, reckless driving, failure to wear seat equipment, which is seatbelt, driving without a license, failure to possess a driver's license, failure to possess driver's registration, failure to possess driver's insurance card, failure to install interlock drive car or / drive a car without an interlock. She's supposed to have a fucking interlock on her fucking car, obviously. She just doesn't install it and drives anyway.
Oh, my God.
For her to restore her shit, she has to has to work on her license stuff, get that restored. Then she has to pay for the interlock thing and the fee and all that shit on her car and have it inspected all the time. She's done none of that. She just has a car and gets in it and drives it. Says, fuck you. I don't care.
What happens first, James? She gets all of this handled or she dies?
Oh, my God. I would say that because she seems like a tough one, so I would say that she's going to last it out, but she's a wrestler. So the fact that she was ever involved in the wrestling business means somewhere there's a sad hotel room, I feel like, that's got the stamp of Tammy's demise on it, and eventually that's where it's going to happen. I don't know. That's just I hope not, obviously.
Her mouth foam is going to be on the floor of a La Quinta.
A La Quinta, Jimmy. I think a La Quinta's giving it a lot of credit. I think it's more like when that dude ran away on Love Off the Grid and he stayed at that motel in Kingman. I think it's going to be like one of those, like an off-brand
just says motel out front. There's no name of it.
It's an off-brand fucking joint like that. I feel like that's what it's going to be. And if you haven't watched Love Off the Grid, we can't recommend that enough to you at all. You play the who's crazier in this fucking relationship game with everybody. Because the answer is the lady in Yucca's the craziest of everybody by far.
Everybody.
Of everybody. She's like, I don't understand why he's not comfortable living here. Yeah, it's 115 degrees and there's no air conditioning and there's rattlesnakes and scorpions and brown recluse spiders and no one else lives out here because it's fucking insane. But he should want to live here because I'm here and you could fuck me. That's her stance.
And I'm demanding he pay in slave labor and cock.
Yes, you will pay in ranch work and cock distribution. Cock dispersal.
If you treated a woman like that, you would be arrested.
She got mad at him. Quickly off the subject here. This woman, he did like forced labor all day in the sun, right? On outside. And then afterwards, they were like making out and all this shit. And apparently she started to hear the generator die, because they have no electricity otherwise.
So she gets up.
She gets up to go put some more gas in it. She said, I'm gone 2 minutes. Just put more gas in there. I get back, and you're passed out cold. You're passed out cold.
You just worked a city boy to sleep, for Christ's sake.
He's from L.A. He has painted fingers and toenails. Like, he's not a guy. And that's because Jimmy does that, too, sometimes.
Yeah, but
nothing
he's
against
not a
that.
rock star.
But he's not a ranch hand.
No,
that's what we're getting at. If you put you to Jimmy, if we put you to work on a ranch, you would drop dead before lunch in that kind of heat.
I could probably, in the heat, fuck that.
That's it was 115
lunch,
out.
9 a.m. It's over for me.
Yeah, if it's January, sure, you could throw. But if it's heat,
I could throw some bales of hay. I'm sure of it. But fuck
you're throwing
this guy.
up by noon. That's
and you leave me alone for 5 minutes with me and my thoughts and how sleepy I am. It's over.
It's over. It's quiet in there.
You'll
the
see
hum
me
of
tomorrow.
the air conditioner, the hum of the generators going on. So when he wakes up, she's laying there topless with a sheet over her. Fucking arms crossed, basically, going, I can't believe you didn't fuck me last night. That's ridiculous. Get me all fucking hot and excited and everything and just fall asleep on me. Rather than just, like, trying to fuck him then, she decides to yell at him for not fucking her the night before. And he goes, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, it was a long day, and I just passed out. He goes, I don't even remember falling asleep. I just fell asleep. He's like, I thought you'd be happy that I was, like, comfortable enough to fall asleep because it's been kind of uncomfortable. And she's like, yeah, I guess so. But, I mean, you could just still fuck me. And she was so – and he's like, are we really going to argue about this right now? Like, he goes, are you really mad? Like, is this for real? Like, I'll knock the bottom out your ass right this minute. What the fuck are we doing? What are we talking about?
And then withheld sex.
And then he's like, all right, well, fucking man, I'll just get up. And he got up, and then she just like rolled over, like all pissed off. And I was like, this lady is like a 14-year-old boy. She's an asshole.
Yeah. And if a man did that to a woman on TV, they'd be like, why is she there?
Why is she there? Yeah, this is rightfully so. That's the thing. She's an abusive asshole. She's a fucking maniac. Everybody, it seemed to be like forced in that guy pooping in his fucking hole.
Oh, God.
Nothing is sadder than him. He's like, you just dig a hole wherever you want, put the thing over it, and then they show him just sitting there from the back, just pooping, looking out at the mountains like, this doesn't get any better than this.
Doesn't it?
Guess not.
That's the pinnacle, sir, isn't it?
Isn't it? All right? Yeah. Isn't it?
Holy shit, what a show.
That is a fucking crazy show. And then you got the North Carolina people who are like, seem to be the sanest of all of them. Like, Charlie has a real shower and he's got a real flushing toilet. Like, it's not a hole outside. It's next to the bed and sink. Like, it's in the kitchen, but it's still working.
And you got to climb the mountain if it doesn't.
Yeah, you got to go dig some mud out. But they seem to be the sanest of them for some reason. And then, of course, you have the sex cult, the future sex cult down in northern Alabama, where this guy bought, what do you say, like 15 acres of, we do the real estate report. I look at what land is in the middle of nowhere. That land is worth $2,000 an acre. Like, that shit is, it's middle of nowhere. Nobody wants it. Alabama, northern Alabama, fucking woodland. Nobody needs it.
He sold a 96 Accord and bought this place.
And he's acting like this is my castle. I bought an island so I could have all the room to myself, and the government can't get me here. And he's doing all this shit.
Sovereign town.
That's what it is. It's the United States of Joe. That's what he acts like it is. And he's got a woman that's decided to come there that sleeps in a tent with him for weeks while they build a tiny house. It's fucking insane. And the whole time they're looking for a third. That's the whole thing. They're looking to be polyamorous, and they're looking for a third to come live there on the homestead. But his girlfriend needs to be the queen of this homestead, so this girl needs to understand that she's only there to be a submissive and all this shit they're talking about. And I'm like, oh my God.
Why is sex with people that look like that determined to be a prize? He is a nightmare.
He's hideous, and he has these women swarming over him. And even his buddy's like, he's just one of these cool kind of guys, walks into a room, walks out with all the chicks. And you're like, him? What?
I don't believe you.
Where is this happening? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's a scumbag, and we're going to end up doing a small town murder about some sort of weird cult thing that happens there. The women are going to kill each other. He's going to kill like 3 of them because that's his new thing that he needs to do for some sexual ritual. I don't know. It's going to be weird.
And the shirtless guy that sells him his tools is going to be an accomplice to this shit.
Oh, absolutely. The shirtless guy who is just hanging out with a film crew from a television show and his buddy just emptying some stuff from the shed to a truck, and he's got his gun tucked into his waistband. I don't think you're going to need it right this minute. Maybe just leave it over there while you do some stuff. I don't think the film crew is going to try to take a move on you.
That thing may be a hindrance to loading these 2x4s.
That's what it looked like. It was it wasn't in a holster. It was just stuck in his waistband. So it looked like Eddie Murphy style. Like, it looked
Take
like
it easy, Axel Foley.
What are you doing, bro?
Is a very tall blonde going to come through here and try to rob diamonds?
I think it is. I think Brigitte Nielsen's going to come through.
Put the fucking 9 away, sir.
It was so weird. And then he's like, so you're getting married, huh? Because our Joe guy is going to marry the one who's the queen. Going to marry her, and he's like, I don't know about getting the government involved and stuff like that. He said it like it was the most aberrant thought in the world. And then it comes out, he's like, I mean, both my divorces cost me everything. And you go, there you go.
There it is.
That's exactly what we were talking about in the bonus episode. That's where all this comes from.
Yeah, has nothing to do with the government.
My ex-wife's a bitch, so fuck this country. That's what it is. So I need to be armed at my shed around a film crew, and my ex-wife took my car from me and my dog that I liked very much.
She took half of a lifted Ford Ranger.
I said I'll take half. I ain't doing no bullshit like, oh, keep the baby whole. So no, none of that bullshit. You cut that motherfucker in half if half is mine. You know what I'm saying?
I'll sell it for nothing just so she doesn't get shit out of it.
Yeah, Bible could suck my dick with that bullshit. I ain't listening to it.
I'll sell this Ford Ranger for 12 ducats. Give her 6. Call it even.
Oh, man. So Tammy, after her most recent arrest on her Facebook page, she said, quote, I am okay. I am laying low for a bit, but I'm okay. Don't believe the media. Please don't. What are you talking about? Were you in a car behind the wheel? Yes or no? If the answer's yes, I don't fucking care what the details are. You can't be driving. Do we have to break your fucking hands like a Vegas casino in the 60s so you can't cheat anymore? Do we have to hammer your fucking hands so you're bandaged up and you can't drive? I feel like that's what we need to do at this point.
She's going to hurt somebody. That's next.
Yeah, I don't know how she hasn't. She drives around shit-faced.
I'm stunned she hasn't. Wrong way? Jesus.
There she goes.
There she goes again.
There she goes again.
There she goes.
Driving through that house. She's in the living room.
She just hit 2 kids.
She just hit someone's grandpa. Okay. So
there she goes.
She certainly has a way about her, and there she goes.
She hit 2 kids. She's going to, for sure. There's no other way that ends. She hasn't learned her lesson, and she's not going to, because every time it's the same problem and the same thing,
and
the same repercussions.
Help?
Yeah, nothing
prison
fixes.
No, she has a deep-seated problem that she needs to fix, and it's the need for booze. Mm-hmm. And until she fixes that shit, everything else is pointless, because it's always going to come back to she's going to get drunk and then she's going to make bad decisions. That's how it works with her. So let's move on to. I mean, this guy was one of our top episodes for as far as people's love of episodes, and he has not let us down at all. I didn't realize how premature we were in this episode.
He had meth up his ass twice, James. It doesn't feel premature.
Did you say twice, Jimmy?
Was it twice?
Was that twice in our episode?
I think so.
Okay, well, he's consistent, if nothing else. Let's get into Ben Cousins, everybody. He's consistent, that Ben Cousins.
He's like an 8-year-old. We caught it there. We know you're in there.
We know that's, he's hiding in his own closet.
Yeah. I found you there 4 times. Stop.
I saw your shoes sticking out from under the door. It's a high door. What are you doing?
I heard the door shut.
So we did the Ben Cousins episode on November 6th, 2017.
Wow.
This is when we did that. Again, so long ago. That was a good month. In a month we had Mayhem, Miller, and him. That's wild.
That's incredible.
So, we had Leon Spinks and another crazy one in the last month too. So I guess we're doing it still the whole time. So now he gets released from jail.
Yeah.
And he moves in with a girlfriend of his.
Yep.
Who
That's
is
where we
a
left him.
prominent brothel owner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where we left him. Marianne Kenworthy. Okay, that's how that happened. So she owns the Langtrees brothel in Perth.
Yeah.
So there we go. She's been
where
in
it's
the
legal
business,
there. So
been in business for 35 years. Right. Yeah, she's a madam. She called Cousins a friend to the the media, but she says that fame and stardom has prevented him from growing up. That's her thing. So. He's released from prison January of 2018. That's where we were going to. And he serves 10 months of a 1-year sentence after breaching a restraining order taken out by a different woman. So there's that. He gets a job immediately.
Right.
And this is a requirement of his parole conditions. And it's not even a bad job. He gets a job, takes up a community support role with the West Coast Eagles, which was the team he was around. So that's easy. You literally, hi, I'm Ben Cousins, and you sign some autographs and you tell the kids not to do drugs.
Right.
And you talk about that one game that they all want to talk. That's it. It's the easiest fucking job in the world. Be yourself.
Also, don't hide meth in your ass. When you do it a lot, they'll find it there.
They will find the meth in your ass. So he does that. Now, that is in February. He gets a job. By May... reports emerged that he hadn't been around the club for a month. He just stopped showing up at work completely.
It.
He just was like, nope, not going. He Jimmy Wisman'd his job there. We haven't seen him in like a month. I don't even know if he's alive still. Did he die of COVID? That's what I heard.
Say again?
So the club confirmed to the media that he told them in April that he, quote, no longer wanted the job. Once they got a hold of him, he's like, I just don't want to be there. They were like, okay. So By August of 2018, he's back in jail again.
Oh, boy.
He is back in jail on charges of making threats and breaking a violence restraining order. So he had a restraining order for the same woman that he was in jail for going after the first time. He then got hit with stalking charges and intimidation after breaching a restraining order against her again. He insisted that he was simply trying to gain access to his children, and the texts don't violate the order. Okay.
Oh,
between April 12th and April 15th, he sent her messages on 128 occasions.
Oh, boy.
Including 165 phone calls in 13 days. That's
a dangerous man.
That's a scary amount of contact. That's not, hey, get back to me and want to find out about the kids. That's
you're mine and I own you.
And I'm gonna at least bother you or make you turn your phone off. I'm gonna control the situation that you're in some way, shape, or form.
You are not going to be able to have a life without me because I'm gonna insert myself in your life at every turn I can.
Absolutely. So he was taken into police custody following a disturbance at a house in Western Australia. He now faces 16 charges, including aggravated burglary, aggravated stalking, and possessing a prohibited drug with intent to supply or sell.
Oh, boy.
This is also charged with multiple counts of breaching a violence restraining order, threatening to injure, endanger, or harm a person as well. The police alleged that Cousins threatened Malia Tyneshiff, I think that's her name, or Tinishiff, with a screwdriver in a separate incident that happened earlier this month that they just hadn't been able to catch up with him on.
He's a monster.
He also, this is the mother of his kids, by the way, he also threatened to, to, quote, bury her alive as well. Now, from Ben Cousins, you kind of believe this. That's the problem. Yeah. So this is all very scary, obviously.
Yeah.
Now they get him into the jail. Once they get him into jail, and he's charged with all this stuff. Now, Jesus Christ, they find when they're searching him. When you go to jail, you have to lift your sack and fucking bend over and lift your sack. Yeah. So you got to cough, and they see if anything. Well, when he does his little cough action there, they see something poking out of his ass.
Oh, no, Benjamin.
So they asked him to remove it, and he acted like he was going to remove it and instead shoved it up farther. Which is a crazy... Dude, they see it's in your ass.
They know it's in there.
They saw. What do you have to gain from jamming it farther up your ass except for a date with a proctologist who's going to have to fucking surgically remove that shit if you push it up too far? What the fuck are you doing?
Man. They're going to wait for you to shit.
That's what I mean. They have cells. I know that in certain jails, I was reading a book that they call brown cells that are for this exact fucking purpose. They literally put you in there with a bucket and have a guard stand outside. And you got to shit eventually.
For the brown, yeah.
They said guys will shit, and then if the guard's not watching, they'll eat it again right out of the shit.
God damn it.
And then say, look, I shit, and there's nothing in there. I told you I didn't have anything. That's what they do.
Oh, God.
That's how bad they don't want extra charges, Jimmy. They will eat something directly out of their own shit pile.
God damn it. Just put a hand back there and mush it and catch it?
They'll shit into a thing, grab it out of their bucket and pop it in their mouth again and hope the guard didn't see it. And then they go to the guard, look, see, there's nothing in my shit. See, I told you I didn't swallow nothing. That's it. Then hopefully they'll shit it out again tomorrow or the next day, and then they can do it. That's what he did. So,
Jesus God.
He shoves the bag farther up his ass. Mm-hmm. So eventually... they go, well, guess what, asshole? You're in our possession at this point. You're in custody, so we're going to take you to the hospital, and they're going to get it out. So now he's in it's not embarrassing enough for this moron to keep getting arrested for this shit, but now he's in a car because multiple people have to keep him in custody, then show up and go, he shoved something so far up his ass we can't retrieve it.
Sedate him and find it.
This famous man who... 2 comedians talked about for 2.5 fucking hours, and the entire continent of Australia has been laughing at for a decade.
I need you to go in his asshole.
Shove something up his ass farther. So can you go grab that for us? Thanks. What a fucking asshole, man.
Yeah, it's a deep one.
You got to wonder, what's in his ass, right? I mean, it could be anything. It's a plastic bag. It could be anything. Let's play a game, everybody. Let's play a round of What's in His Ass? Yay! Your favorite game show is back for another season of What's in His Ass? 2022 edition.
What's it weigh? Are there clues? Does it shine?
Well, he has what do you think's up there, first of all? What's the substance? What do you think he's got?
Is it it's meth, right?
It's meth. He's got meth up his ass. We know how Ben Cousins rolls. He stores his meth in his ass when he's doing things. He leaves the house. He's like, okay, keys in my pocket. Got my money. Oh, don't want to forget my lifesavers. Yeah, I like those. I say there's like 2 cherry ones left in this. I'm saving that for. Oh, my meth. Hold on here. Takes his pants down. There we go. Jammed it up my ass.
Back pocket.
Ready to go. Right in my back pocket. Those shorts don't have any pockets. Exactly. And he walks out.
That's his 6th pocket.
Yeah, exactly what that is. How many pockets you got, sir? Well, that depends.
Gross.
How much do you think was up
heavy?
there? It's in his ass, so you think it's not that much.
Is it 4 grams?
13 grams of meth in his ass, Jimmy. Almost a half ounce of meth. Everybody, 14 grams is a fucking half ounce if you're not a drug person.
That's heavy.
13 grams. Imagine, first of all, weed people. Just imagine stuffing a half ounce of weed up your ass. That would be a fucking procedure.
That's a burrito.
Oh, God damn. It's all lumpy and shit. Jesus Christ. It got thin for a second, and then it got fucking fatter again. Jesus Christ. It hurt.
A half ounce of weed is the size of a Taco Bell burrito.
Oh, there's a stem in there. Oh, Jesus.
It's poking through the bag.
Ah, no.
I should have wrapped it in a tortilla.
Put some sour cream on it to fucking make this easier.
14 grams of meth.
13 grams of meth is a denser substance, so it's going to be smaller, but that's still a good amount.
Yeah.
That's still a good amount in a fucking bag, man.
But
That's
if it's
one of
rocks,
my fingers thick
if
on
it's
the bottom.
rocks, that's what it is, right? But if it's already down to like powder, that's a lot.
It's like my middle finger all the way across the bottom of a bag, and he jammed that up his ass.
That's fat.
And the thing that gets me too is it's not a sandwich bag because that could fall open. It's got to be a zipper bag. So the zipper is like scratchy and has those corners. To jam a Ziploc bag up your ass is really some.
Or did he put it like?
Want it.
Did he put it in the cellophane of a cigarette and burn
No, it was in a plastic bag. They said it wasn't a cigarette cellophane. Thank God. All burned it and stuck it together.
It's rolled
and burned and stuck to it.
Seal it, babe.
Seal it up, babe. You know how to do it. We've all bought and sold weed like that. We all have. I don't have any bag. Well, here, use this. No problem. There you go. Got that for later.
You're not buying enough weed for me to go to the grocery store and buy Ziplocs? Fuck you.
You're not getting one of my Ziploc bags. Fuck that. Unbelievable. So he's got fucking almost a half ounce of meth up his ass.
That's so much.
This is his crowning achievement, honestly. Is... He's never had this much meth up his ass before.
I think it was 4 grams last time.
Yeah, I think so. 4.5 or something.
Yeah, which still, that seems like a lot.
At the time, we were like, holy shit, that's not like a couple of bumps or anything. No. That's a good amount of meth.
That's usage.
He was like, that's a bitch-ass amount of meth. 13 grams.
That's
up the old fucking cornhole, buddy.
In jail.
He had it on the outside, and when they didn't find it till he got to jail. He should have told them about it at the time, but now he's got extra charges because now he possesses it, and he snuck it into an institution, which is another charge. So now he's got
Benjamin
another fucking charge because he's a goddamn moron.
This is number 3 or 4 of it up his ass. This is too much.
It's at least the 3rd time, or at least the 2nd I know of, and possibly the 3rd that was like public. The amount of times he stuck a bag of meth up his ass has to be thousands, just constantly. As many times as Carol Baskin's husband said he doesn't need to come. That's how much Ben Cousins has had up his asshole.
At this point, your asshole is called your Benny pocket, right? It's got to be.
He just uses it like he's a fucking kangaroo. Like it's not a.
Squirreling it away?
It's not a pouch to store shit.
No, God damn it. He's a gerbil.
What a fucking weirdo. That's a guy who's been to jail a lot. He's like, you use your ass to hold things, man. So I hear guys in jail and things, they stick phones up there. I'm like, how do you get a phone up your ass?
God.
How would you get a phone?
There isn't a small enough phone on Earth.
Even those Boost Mobiles are still... Wow.
That's too much phone.
It's too much phone. It's just
Do you unfold it? Do you open it? Or...
Well, I think the battery would die then by the time you get it out. You have to keep it folded up, I think. I think you got to really keep it folded.
Yeah, when the screen's on, that's when it's using all its battery.
It's using everything, man. You can't do that.
But an iPhone, it's touching constantly. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's constantly swiping.
I would hope you wouldn't want to put a large rectangle up there. I would think you'd get like a flip phone that's smaller that you could kind of like a...
iPhone
anyway.
1?
You're like the 4S? No!
Don't you dare bring me a Max.
Bring me one of the new ones. Bring me what are they on? Like 10 fucking Q now?
I
don't even know.
It's 13.
I just get a phone. I don't even remember which number it is now that they give me because they're all exactly the same. I'm like, oh, that's funny. When I put this next to my old one, I can't tell the fucking difference other than the case I have on it. Thanks, Apple.
This one's got 3 more circles on the back. That's it.
I only bought this one because my battery sucked by now on this one. That's the only reason why. Otherwise,
this one stopped charging. That's the only reason I need another one.
Same shit. Otherwise, it all does the same shit. So,
and you made it stop charging on purpose, you fuckers.
You bastards. So, Cousins publicly addresses these allegations.
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
He breaks down in tears.
Yeah, I would too. I can't believe you guys know about my asshole.
No, that's not why.
No?
No. He breaks down in tears at being separated from his family.
Oh, go fuck yourself, man.
He just, that's all he was in trouble for. He just wanted to see them so bad. That's the only reason why he was doing that. As a matter of fact, he says, and I quote, I am the victim in this.
Okay.
Ben, you've never been the victim in anything. Literally, anything could happen to you, and I'd go, I don't know. He probably was asking for it in some way, shape, or form. He's Ben Cousins.
Ben makes victims. He makes victims like Apple makes iPhones.
Constantly and exactly the same. Up its ass. Yeah. I am the victim in this, to be the subject of ridicule and embarrassment. And I know I've brought a lot of that on myself, but I don't act out in violence. Okay. I beg you, I'm not a threat. Every day I close my eyes when the sun goes down and I spew that it's another day and I'm not going to be with my children. Someone in my situation, you should use it as an example of hope that things will work out, not the opposite. No. Ben? Okay.
I'm a peaceful meth addict.
You can say I'm a nice guy, but don't say you should, instead of being negative, you should use my story as an example of hope that maybe things will work out.
Right.
No. When you shove a half ounce of meth up your ass, it's really hard to use that as any example of, listen, kids, even if you have a half ounce of meth up your ass, your life isn't over. That's hard to tell somebody. You tell kids, like, everything will be fine unless you have, like, a half ounce of meth up your ass. Then you have problems.
And you're in half ounce of meth up your ass in jail. You're probably in trouble.
You're probably in deep shit. So, then
like
he said,
the meth, you're in deep shit.
Yeah. Holy fuck, man. At first, they didn't know it was in the bag because they were like, wash it off first. Oh, it's white powder in there. I couldn't tell it was in there. Didn't know. So at that point, he tries to sell his Brownlow medal, which is like the MVP medal. He tries to sell it, the one he won in 2005, but his father wouldn't let him. His father stopped him from selling it. He said, you're going to regret that.
Goddamn joke.
Yeah, a friend told the Herald Sun, quote, he tried to sell his Brownlow, but he doesn't even have it. His dad has the Brownlow in safekeeping. So he was trying to sell it.
That's what you call meth. He's in possession of Brownlow.
I'm just here to get my medal, man. Just here to get my medal called the Brownlow. Dad, it's safe. I swear I won't lose it. I'm gonna put it up my ass where it's safe.
I'm gonna put it in the brown low.
Put it on the brown low, man. That's what he says. Hey, keep it on the brown low, okay? I mean, shove it up your ass rather than hide it. Hey, shove it.
That man won a medal called the brown low.
The brown low. That's why I thought. Yes, I thought you would enjoy that.
That is unreal. Oh, perfect.
My God. Cousins is accused of this was the time part of this was he told his ex that he would take their children. Not only would he bury her alive, but he'll take the children to a place where you will be able to hear them but not be able to get to them. And then he said, quote, "I'm going to kill you, take your life, your freedom, and the things you love most." That's what he told her. So he threatened to bury her alive, take her children to a place where she could hear them but not see them, and then kill her, take your life, your freedom, and all the things you love most. So
those are terrible threats.
Those are he said all that while he had meth up his ass.
So believe him is what you're saying?
I mean, by the way, when I gave you the totals on the phone calls, like 100-something texts and 165 phone calls, that's nothing compared to 2017.
Oh, my God.
When we talked about it, when he tried to contact his ex 542 times in the month of November.
Oh, he is a problem.
And more than 2,000 texts and calls from January to February that year.
That constitutes stalking, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it was. She got a restraining order against him and everything. Police, when he's arrested for meth up the ass and all that, they say he is of, quote, no fixed address as well.
He's homeless, too.
So wow. I mean, he must have some money. 13 grams of meth is probably pricey, I think.
Yeah.
So the 2 charges of stalking and threatening to harm her are later dropped somehow, and he pleads guilty to 12 remaining offenses of breaching a violence order and all this type of shit as well, drugs and everything. Or the drugs are separate, I'm sorry. He's sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 8 months in prison, which he's already served. So they just let him out with time served.
Out. Wow.
Then he tells a reporter outside when they let him out, quote, "As you know, I wasn't convicted of some of those things." So because they dropped charges and stuff, then he's going to go outside and act like he didn't do shit. Act like, oh, I was fucking exonerated.
Yeah.
He's going to go out like OJ and say he's going to look for the real killers.
Right.
I'm going to look for the real assholes that meth came out of, man, because that's what we really need to look at.
I'm going to be at the proctologist's office.
He then says, but I agree with you, yeah, some of it is inexcusable. And then when asked if he was embarrassed about all of this, he said, quote, "I'm not proud."
Hate that you know, really.
I mean, obviously, this isn't my fucking biggest shining moment. I'd rather be winning another Brownlow rather than making a bag of Brownlow, but okay.
When they fingerprint me, they also make me push my asshole on the card.
That's you got to get an asshole print from Cousins.
They're checking other bags around the city to see if my asshole print's on them.
Oh, my God. Well,
check the fucker print.
He's not done yet, pucker prints.
Oh, my God.
Check his pucker print. Run it through the system. Run his pucker through the system, I said.
They need a pucker system.
Bad. A whole separate system.
It's identical.
It's identical. Identical. Sorry to go my cousin Vinny on you for a minute, but we have to. If it comes up, I just did this. Yeah, we both did the same thing.
Smash them together.
So, February of 2019, he's going to court for the meth. He is found guilty of having meth up his ass while in jail. So that's on the record that he absolutely did that. And he is, you, sir, may fuck off, fined $1,750. That's what he's fined.
What?
Less than 2 G's for that somehow.
How did he do that?
I don't know how he pulled that off, but that's perfectly, that's wild, man. So in March of 2019, he pleads not guilty to 14 offenses in court, including breaching a family violence restraining order and a count each of aggravated stalking and threatening to injure, endanger, or harm. So, yeah, they are aggravated stalking, as a matter of fact. So he's charged with all that, pleads not guilty, so he's out still. In April, he's arrested again. He's arrested in Perth, I suppose. I'm not sure what it was for. Don't know. It's for a failed drug test on his parole or his probation. July 2019, he obviously he's not supposed to be using drugs as a,
Seems
whatever.
Like a bad choice, yeah.
It's the predicating on everything. That's what it is. The court was told that Cousins submitted 2 bad urine samples last month, which were deemed inadmissible because of temperature or creatine levels. So he was using someone else's or fake piss.
Right.
Is what he was trying to get away with. So that means you have drugs in your system.
Oh, Benjamin.
Benny. So late March 2020, he keeps pressing on. He's like Sherman going to the sea, man. He's a fucking keeps pressing.
We march.
Burn the fields, leave nothing for the rebels. He's fucking going.
Marching.
Late March 2020, he appears in a tell-all interview.
Yeah.
He's good now, everybody.
He wants to talk about it.
With Channel 7, where he opened up about his drug addiction.
Absolve your sins.
That's it. He had his hair in a ponytail. He had long hair. And he said that he, quote, stuffed things up royally. Really? You're going to say that? I get that you're using stuffed in place of fucked, but you stuffed bags up your asshole, and 13 grams is a royal stuffing. I'm sorry. That's a royal stuffing, is it not?
Did the interviewer do that shit serious?
The interviewer should have done all that, then did a slow turn to the camera to break the fourth wall, and then slow turn back to him.
Or a nice like wink in the gun.
Yeah, like an 80s movie. Slow turn, back to the camera, like Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
Oh, Ben.
Then it gets, you think the words could be worse?
Yeah.
This is a word that's bad for 2 different reasons, and he uses it. It's almost like he's kidding, but he's not smart enough to kid like this. Quote, I hope people can see I'm having a crack at turning it around. Meth and up your ass crack. Those are 2 cracks. Brother, what are you doing? An SNL sketch could not have been written any funnier. Like, if this was an American guy and they wrote an SNL sketch of him in an interview saying these things, it would be fucking hilarious because it's so hilarious.
You can't write anything better than that. That's amazing.
Even that would be like, like he'd really say stuffed things up royally. Right. No, that's too on the nose. Nobody would ever say that. He said it. Then
he said, I'm having a crack.
Having a crack at turning it around. Then
where's your asshole? It's back there.
Well, you turn around, lift your sack, and cough, will you? Let's see what you're doing. Because the next answer is whether he's still using drugs. The next question. So that would have been, let's find out. He gave an unconvincing answer. He said, "Quote: I'm just thinking how. I'm not sure about how to answer that."
How much is in there, Ben?
Jimmy, are you using drugs?
No.
Okay, there you go.
I'm just thinking about, I don't know how to answer that.
I don't know how to answer that. I can't think of too many questions that you'd ask me about myself that I would say, I don't know how to answer that.
James, are you using drugs?
Well, yes, weed. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Besides that, none at all.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Besides that, nothing.
But it's so much fun to be able to answer that yes, isn't it?
Yes, I am. Weed and Advil are my 2 big crutches. So.
Ask Ben, and he says, I'm just thinking about, I don't know how to answer that.
They're like, you're right. He's like, hold on, I'm just thinking about the question.
I realize there's 2 answers, and I really don't like either of them because one of them's a lie and the other one's the truth.
As the rapper Capadonna once said, I came to the fork in the road and went straight, everyone. I'm not going to answer your question.
One of those is a lie and the other one's the truth, and the one that you want me to say is the lie. The one that you're hoping I say for the goodness of this interview is complete bald-faced lie. And I can't say that shit.
He skates like Wayne Gretzky on this shit. Check this out. He says, I'm just thinking how, ... I'm not sure not sure how to answer that. My issues have been more greater and complex than my drug use. That's not what you were asked. Nope. That's the stem of it. When you have meth up your ass, you do crazy shit. Yeah. A plus B. And then he says, quote, in a perfect world, I would have liked to have come out on the other side a long time ago. That hasn't been the case. came out,
It came
the
out
other
on
side.
the other side. It sure
Like,
did.
another ass pun. And he just said, in a perfect world, I would have liked to have not been doing meth a long time ago. That doesn't answer the question.
What
except
about
that you
today,
made
Ben?
another ass reference.
What about right now, Ben? Are you high?
They said, well, when's the last time you took drugs? And he
Uh-oh.
said, this is another very simple question. When's the last time you took drugs, Jimmy?
Jesus. It's been months.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
When's the last time you took drugs? Quote, it's just one of those things. I'd rather not go there. I don't think it helps. Okay. This is a tell-all interview. So the interviewer said last week, last month. Give me a ballpark. He didn't say the ballpark thing. He said last week, last month. And Cousin said, quote, well, you know, not today is enough for me, and it should be enough for other people.
So yesterday.
So probably yesterday.
I ran out last night.
Hold on a sec. Wait, let me check. There we go. Hold on. Let me spit. There we go. Let me spit on my face. It's a little
dry.
So then he had a message for the kids, though. It's for the kids, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He said, quote, I would encourage them to think long and hard before they decide to go down that path. Just be aware of the ramifications and take it seriously. Go down that path? Ben!
What? How could he do
that? References does he make? They ask him, are you feeling blue? And he says, I describe it more as feeling brown, but I don't know. There's not, like, how many ass references can you fucking make, man? So then they talked to him about, hey, what happened with you and, the car and custody of your kids and all that shit. And he says, this is his answer, quote, I don't think a mother plays any more of an important role than the bloke does.
What?
That's not an answer at all.
Any question.
Any question, unless it's, do you think a mother plays a more important role in the kid's life than the father? Other than that question, you just answered a fucking wrong question. You would lose at Jeopardy terribly. You'd be awful at it.
What happened with the children in the car? Well, see, I took a left turn down the Hershey Highway.
Then he says it needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
He says, quote, it needs to be stopped. Every time I see the coppers, I say to them, you guys have let me down.
Yeah.
The community has let me down. My family, her family have let me down. This has gone on for too long. Are you out of your fuck? They all are going, yes, it has gone on for too long, you fucking moron. Stop doing it.
We just want you to stop.
Just stop. Then he says, if I get to a point where I'm going to pick a cause single-mindedly or with that cause towards you, I want there to be carnage. Blood will spill. So it's up to you guys if you want me to change this. I don't know what that means.
That sounds like a threat, man.
Yeah, to the whole community. He just basically said, it's up to you. If you keep arresting me for having meth up my ass, then I'm going to keep doing bad shit with meth up my ass. If you stop arresting me, then I'll stop doing meth and get along with everybody.
If you stop arresting me for meth, I'll do meth peacefully.
I'll do it very, very peacefully. This is fucking crazy. He then described his mother, the mother of his children, as the most defiant person he'd ever known, and said he wanted some underworld figure named Mick Gatto, who I've heard of over there, to mediate access to his two children. I'm going to have a gangster mediate access between us.
Yeah.
He said he's willing to give his Brownlow medal to Gatto in return.
No.
I'll give it to him and let him. I've never met anyone as defiant, you know? Mick Gatto couldn't tell her what to do. Mick, I'm just telling you, and I honestly was going to get him to come over. I was going to give him my Brownlow to mediate. That's how big a thing this was, you know? And he went, Ben, you're crazy, I'm sure. You have meth up your ass. I'm not doing anything with you. 3 weeks after the interview, Jimmy, 3 weeks after he lays it all bare, April 2020, he lays it all bare. He is arrested in Perth again.
Oh, God.
This time, police had been searching for a vehicle that was seen driving erratically, and they found it. And Cousins was asleep next to the car, not in the car. He got out of the car and went to sleep.
Yeah, he was exhausted. He tried to put it up his ass.
Well,
it won't fit this time.
Yeah, he had 2.5 grams of meth on him as well.
Oh, Ben.
Not up his ass, though, so that's a positive.
Yeah.
You know what? We got to get him to stop using meth. Let's start with getting him to stop putting it up his ass. If we can get him to stop doing that and then stop, eventually we'll get to where he doesn't use it anymore.
Yeah.
But
And I realize that I'm ignorant on this subject because I've never used it, but how fucking good is that stuff? Do you know what I mean?
I've seen a lot of people on that.
Fucking
it's a pull,
amazing,
man.
right?
It's a pull. It's a real pull. It's really addictive.
I can't get on top of that. I can't get a grasp of it because every picture I've ever seen of somebody deep in the grips of it is enough to make me go, what? Why would you? Why would you do that? No.
I hate any kind of uppers because I'm a nightmare. This is me stoned. Imagine me. This is me on like a bunch of weed and concentrates. Imagine me on coke. Oh my God!
A problem. Yeah.
I would be floating. I wouldn't even be walking. I'd be fucking like above the air with my legs going.
The stuff has got to be incredible because otherwise, why the fuck would you even try knowing that this is the fucking end game? Nobody's ever said. No, there's never been a billionaire or a millionaire on TV talking about, my life was a fucking mess. And then I started doing meth.
And it all's worked from there.
Nobody says that.
And that actually happened for people with coke back in the day sometimes, but never with meth. It never seems to work that way.
It's
just
never
too dirty.
been a thing ever.
So he pleads not guilty to a new string of charges here. He had a minor outburst in the court after his bid for bail is rejected. He said, quote, "That's not fair, Your Honor." And they said, "Are you kidding me, bro? For real?" Fuck out of here with that shit.
You were arrested for meth, and then we let you out, and we arrested you again for meth, and then we let you out, and then we have arrested you again for meth.
And the judge said that I'll mute you if you're not quiet because this was over a video thing, so he couldn't even fucking... the judge said it gave him no pleasure to conclude that there were no conditions he could impose that would stop Cousins from offending if he was released on bail. He said, on analysis of Mr. Cousins' record, he endures a difficulty with methamphetamine, well known to the community. I am saddened that you endure such an issue with methamphetamine, he said. So, then he ended up, that goes on. He gets put in jail for that. And December 2020, he's released from jail.
Okay.
He's good now. He said he's going to get his life back together. His new lawyer, not the one who loves him, but somebody else, that's the other guy, Mayhem Miller's lawyer. He said that he's doing well, he's got somewhere to live, and he's actively looking for a job. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Didn't clarify what kind of job he's looking at, but that's fine. He's taken into custody on March 15th, 2021 for something. I'm not sure what, but he ends up being put in a hospital for a mental health assessment, and he's released 48 hours later. So I don't know what happened there. That's March 15th, 2021. But I do know a week later, he's back in the hospital awaiting another mental health assessment. March 21st, 2021, he's put in there after driving erratically outside of a Sikh temple. Okay? He'd photographed the temple and climbed onto the roof of a 2-story home to get pictures of this place. Witnesses said a man believed to be Cousins was taking photos on his phone of the Gurdwara Sahib Temple in Canning Vale at 11 a.m. on this day, then drove off erratically before leaving his car in the middle of Shreve Road.
Oh, my God.
Okay. So the Sikh leader here, he told of this particular venue, he told reporters that Cousins was getting in and out of his car and almost caused accidents. He said he was taking photos everywhere of the temple. He was not looking stable.
Dear Lord.
So he's just stopping in the middle of traffic to get out, to walk around, to take more photos and all this shit. So then the cops come, and there's closed circuit footage of him running from police.
Right.
He takes off and runs on foot, not in the car, which is better. He's less likely to hurt someone on foot. He jumped fences, climbed onto the roof of a 2-story house finally. Finally, he gave up and just climbed up onto the roof of a 2-story house where he paced back and forth until police talked him down.
That is so scary. That's a man at the end of his rope.
Yeah, he didn't know what else to do.
No.
He just went up there and walked back and forth. That's what like a fucking child does when they don't know what to do. They go up like on the roof of a shed and they're like, I'm just going to sit here where nobody can tell me what to do.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. I can just have as much meth up my ass as I want. They said a witness here said, quote, there was about 8 police cars lined up, and once they put somebody in the back of the paddy wagon, they've taken off, and I can hear the guy screaming and yelling and carrying on in the back of the van. So they took him away as a fucking madman. Another witness here, Jenny Wilson, told reporters, quote, I was pretty panicked. I locked the doors and we stayed inside in one of the bedrooms until I could get confirmation that from the police that an arrest was done. Another one here, a police guy, said, quote, he needs serious help and he needs to get out of this country. Yeah. Get out of this country, Ben. Who the fuck would take him is the problem. Who's taking Ben Cousins?
Are they trying to export their problem? What are they doing?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. It's an island and you're on this island. You have a lot of bad shit. But, dude, who's going to take that guy? Like, you're not going to – that'd be like us going, Tammy needs to get out of the country. Well, no one wants to take Tammy. That's why she's still here. Canada wouldn't even let her in. Like, are you kidding me?
The other part is that, dear Ben, meth is illegal all over the world. Like, you can't go anywhere. There's no safe haven for you.
That's the other fucking problem. So they said no charges have been laid out formally, and there's inquiries, proceeding, and they're trying to figure out what the hell to talk to him about. He remained in stable condition in the emergency department of the hospital here. The police officer that arrested him said, quote, he needs serious help. He needs to get out of this country. I feel for his family. Yeah, that's a thing. October 2020, he pleads not guilty to stalking and 20 counts of breaching family restraining violence orders. November 2020, court for this whole thing. More details come out in court of his private life and drug addiction and all this type of shit. They heard in court that his mental state had spiraled so dramatically in 2018 that his ex was forced to secretly move out of the house with their children that year. She told the court that she felt she had to choose between reporting his violence restraining order breaches or having her children taken away. Said he's either going to take my kids or I have to report him, was her thing. She said she didn't want Cousins to go to jail, but felt compelled to call on him amid fears that the authorities would swoop in and remove the children from her care from it being in a dangerous situation. You got to protect your kids with this if this guy's around. I don't care if they're his kids or not. He can't be around people. He's fucking nuts. He needs help. So he is, during the proceedings, Cousins' lawyer grills Cousins' ex, actually, about mixed messages on when and how he's supposed to interact with his children, which ended with her saying that she was calling the shots. That's how it works here. She told the court she had refused to allow Cousins to drop off Easter eggs to their children in April, just a day after a consensual visit on Easter Monday. So she said, no, you saw them already. Right. The lawyer also accused her, this is Cousins' lawyer, accused the ex of having a, quote, irritation about Ben's lack of child support payments, despite Mr. Cousins receiving about $100,000 for that TV interview that he did.
Oh, he didn't give her a dime.
Yeah, they're saying, are you just doing this as payback because he didn't give you money? That's what it is, right? She said that money was, quote, the least of my worries.
Yeah. Safety of my fucking kids around a meth head.
Yeah. Fuck. He's got meth up his ass now, probably. The texts between the pair dating from April were read in court. Cousins repeatedly asking to see his children. She said, though, that things came to a head after the TV interview with him, where she claimed she could tell that he was on drugs. And she told him that. I could tell you're on drugs in that fucking interview. I know you.
I know you better than anybody.
So, and he was telling her that he was clean. So she said, don't call me again. She said, quote, you have no remorse. You have no love other than for yourself, drugs, and your filthy lifestyle, you tormenting rat. That's what she said.
She's vicious.
Wow. So she blocked him on her phone, but then received calls from his mother's phone.
Of course.
And she answered the phone, and she said Cousins started screaming at the children when they picked up the phone because they thought their grandmother was calling. And Cousins was screaming, so saying that he hated their mother. They got on the phone. They're like, hi, Dad. He's like, your mother's a fucking bitch, and blah, 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 blah. So she grabbed the phone and hung up on it. Yeah. They also tried to talk to her about her criminal past, which included a DUI under the influence of drugs with the two children in the car at one point.
Oh, God. Ma.
Which but it doesn't compare to 13 grams of meth up the ass. She seems to have cleaned up her act and is doing fine, and he definitely did not. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 7 months in jail, which is backdated to April, so basically he's let out of jail. Time served. So he returns. He's playing 2021. He's seen playing for the Queens Park Bulldogs in the Perts Metro Football League, which seems like some kind of minor league, semi-pro.
Sounds like a rec league.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. Yeah. September 2021, he is invited to the Brownlow Medal ceremony. The AFL invites him to it, and a lot of the fans are super pissed about it. They're like, fuck that guy. But he's invited to it, and they said that his redemption story could take a gigantic public step on Sunday night. That's what they wrote. Like, he can show everyone how clean he is.
Gigantic public shit.
Maybe. Well, I think he's doing well in September, because by the time October comes around, he's working at a Perth construction company, Rig Safe Lifting Solutions he's working at, and he is given Employee of the Month at Rig Safe Lifting Solutions.
Wow.
Employee of the Month. They even posted on their social media, congratulations to Ben Cousins for earning Rig Safeway Employee of the Month for September, they wrote.
Fascinating.
So they then said, quote, Ben's work ethic, attitude, and Rig Safe teamwork always values have made him a very reliable member of our rigging team.
That is unbelievable.
So people were happy for him. He also, in that month, volunteered at several events in and around Perth for kids and all sorts of shit like that. One was for disadvantaged youths, another for addicts and reformed criminals. So he's trying to be an inspiration. So March 15th, 2022, he gets a new job here where he will be hosting a television show, a weekly segment with fellow Eagle turned sportscaster Adrien Broner, and they said they will dissect the burning issues of the AFL. So he's like Ryan Leaf now. They put him on the air.
Wow.
He had meth up his ass like 8 months ago. Yeah. What are the odds that this isn't going to hold?
No. You're going to give him more money and more money than he's used to having lately, and that's going to burn a hole in his pocket.
Much like a, and he'll have to put it up his ass because his pockets are ripped.
He's going to put some more up the other pocket.
Much like an attempt to seal a sandwich bag, this isn't going to hold.
No.
We'll put it that way.
No.
So there we go. That is Ben Cousins and what he's been up to. Wow. That's our update segment. Now, quickly, let's get into our death segment as well. Okay. Death roll time.
Oh.
Ding, ding. Yeah. First of all, Scott Hall, we have to say, because that's just happened last week. And this was a sad one because he didn't die in some sort of, with meth up his ass, or he didn't die with, he was doing very well. Was doing the whole DDP yoga thing, and was trying to fix himself physically and was having hip surgery like so many of the wrestlers back then end up having. And I guess post-surgical, he ended up having a series of heart attacks, 3 heart attacks that they ended up having to pull him off life support, and he passed away. So that was very sad because he really seemed like he was doing well at turning it all around. So that's a sad one. May 14th, 2021, last year, we lost Jerome Nutsack Young as well. God, he was one of our most popular all-time favorite episode guys.
Kept it crazy to the end.
He was crazy to the end. He was doing coke right up until he's always on shit. 58 years old, died of a heart attack. Scott Hall was 63, by the way. 63 for Scott Hall. It's way too young. Nutsack, 58, heart attack, though. He worked hard toward that heart attack for a long fucking time.
Yeah. He was not going to make 60.
No.
Like decidedly. He didn't want that. He didn't want 60.
Was fighting 60.
Yeah.
Next up, a guy we did way back, and he died not too long after we did the episode. Ion Krotoru, old Johnny Canine there, shirtless in an open Jeep in the middle of winter.
In Canada.
He died at 53 years old as well. Wow. Or no, it was 63 for Scott Hall. He died at a federal halfway house in Toronto.
Brutal.
Yep. A friend of his said he was definitely notorious. Johnny was not the most pleasant person, but he fought for his beliefs, had a passion for riding and the biker lifestyle. He was a bulldozer.
He sure was.
A good way to describe him. It was suspected that it was a respiratory ailment of some kind, acute pulmonary edema, and but they said the case is still open, And they don't know. They're calling it natural causes at this point, though. And finally, one that was just as sad as Scott Hall, honestly.
Maybe more heartbreaking.
This one made me more sad, honestly, because he was such a humble man and a nice man. And
certainly cleaned up. Done with all the fuckery. Yeah.
He tried so hard to clean up. He was in so much pain, this guy, in terms of physical pain and
both
even mental
ways,
pain.
Man. Yeah.
He had a lot going on, and he was so nice. He tried so hard. He tried to he even embraced our episode again about him. He retweeted, he talked about it, he interacted with our listeners. He was a great guy about it. Unfortunately, though, it's just too hard for him. And September 2nd, 2021, Keith McCants died of a drug overdose at 53.
Yeah.
And that's more than likely, and this was the theory too, that he had stopped he had stopped for a long period of time and then started up again. And what people do is they just take the same amount they used to take, and then they drop dead because their tolerance has gone away.
He had just had a surgery and was going to have the second one. And so you got to assume that something in the pain relief of that surgery probably triggered more. Poor bastard.
Poor fucking bastard.
Jesus.
And now we have the good now question mark section of updates. A couple of guys who are trying. Obviously, we don't have to talk about Mandy Maloon because we've talked about her. We have an award named after her.
Yeah.
She's still always our favorite alumni. But a couple that are trying somewhat. We have Ryan Leaf now hosting a show. He's making fun of himself a lot. That's one thing. He is... Like, I watched a segment where he was just telling this story about what an asshole he was at the combine and how he, instead of working out, he went to New York to go to a party. He was, or went, or went to Vegas or some shit. Like he was, on a private plane with his agent or some bullshit, that kind of shit. So he's trying, but the guy, Ryan Leaf is one of those guys. It's so hard with crackheads because you just never know when it's all going to snap like that. But he's doing well. And then Buff Bagwell, who was a disaster, he's now doing the whole DDP thing. Yeah, he's with DDP now. He lives in the house. He's doing the whole.
If he dies in it too, do we just start blaming DDP?
I know. Well, he has a good track record
as a serial killer.
I can't stand the whole DDP positive. He's so positive and all that, which is fine for him. It's not my thing, but he really has a good track record with these people.
Sure does.
Jake is still doing well. Jake Roberts, and that guy, I mean, if he can fucking turn it around, literally anyone can turn it around. His father
had that.
His father raped his mother, who was the daughter of his blind date. That's how he came from. And if anyone can overcome it, it's him. So
DDP
we'll
had,
see.
The whole positivity and turning people's lives around started with that random ass dude that just started embracing it. Dude couldn't even walk because he was like a paratrooper or whatever, and his legs were fucked up. And now he's running on the beach, running in sand after doing this yoga and shit. And that's been an inspiration for thousands of people, obviously, but it's
really well.
It works for some. And you got to be able to hit the end of that with results may vary, right?
Yeah. Well, no, in Scott Hall's thing, he was doing fine. He was getting a hip surgery to fix himself physically so he could exercise and stuff
he could run
more.
in sand.
He had post-surgical complications of a heart attack. That just happens, man. That's just random. That's when they say anesthesia is dangerous. That's why things happen. So who knows? We'll see what happens there. So that is our update segment.
Wow.
That is crime and sports, everybody. I told you.
One of the most fun ones, I think. I liked this better than anything. I wish we could just do this every week. We have to do so much work to get to this show.
I know. So you know how much work that took to get to this? So much more work to do to get to this. So
this was years of work to do this one show.
It really was. We had to. So hopefully maybe more people will fuck up. We'll find out. Either way, if you like the show, review us. Whatever app you're listening on, it doesn't matter. Review us. Give us 5 stars. It helps drive us up the charts always. So please do that for us. Help your boys out a little bit. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get your tickets to live shows. Get your merchandise. Tons of merchandise.
We're coming towards you.
We're coming towards you. Pittsburgh, April 8th. Columbus, Ohio, April 9th are our next 2 small-town murder shows. There are some tickets left for those. They're in a theater, but they've been for sale, on and off for a while. So most of them are gone. So get your tickets right now for those. And small-town murder in August, crime and sports, August in Sacramento. Get your tickets for that. There's one in Nashville, too, but that's sold out. So get your tickets right now. Going to be a lot of fun for all of those. You also definitely want to follow us on social media. Make it a lot easier so you'll know when stuff is happening. Yep. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. That said, you also need Patreon.
Yeah, you do.
This week especially, do you need Patreon? Mm-hmm. Do you want to laugh till you hurt? Well, listen to the personal ads episode. Let's just say that. We were
good. So funny.
Dying. It's so fucking funny. You're going to love it. It's one of our finest hours, literally. But you can do all of this. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports is where you can get everything. If you're $5 or above, you get access to all of it. The Small Town Murders bonus episodes.
Every second of it.
Crime and Sports bonus episodes, like 150 episodes of back catalog of bonus episodes. It's a whole new world will be opened up for just $5 a month. And also, you're helping us out. So thank you for doing that. Do that right now. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. The Small Town Murder episode, which you'll also have access to, is about the Tinder swindler story, that documentary, that story. And then we also dove into the whole Anna Delvey scam, too. That girl pretending to be a German heiress to open up some art thing or whatever the fuck she was trying to open up. Art spa. I called it an art. I go, it's an art spa. I don't know what goes on in art places or spas. So that's an art spa. They're both bullshit.
There's no money.
There you go. No money coming in. So check those out. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. And for doing all that, you are getting a shout out. And those shout outs are going to happen right now.
Yeah.
Jimmy, hit me with the name of the people who we would never find with a half ounce of methamphetamines jammed directly up their ass. Hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Carol Braun and KC. Thank you, Carol, for sticking with us for all these years. You're fantastic. We're going to do our best to get to Kansas City as soon as possible.
We will.
Do we have? No,
sometime.
We don't. Not yet.
Not on this
soon.
tour.
I promise
the
we'll
next
try.
tour, hopefully, maybe. We'll see.
Marion Kahn, Holly Davidson, Susanna Platt, Jordan Bennett, and Jumanji the Mailman. Thank you all so much for being fucking fantastic, truly. Other producers this week are Rachel and Cody, who just got engaged. Congratulations, you two. She said yes. Nice. Make it last. Don't fuck it up. Cody,
don't turn into one of our stories, please.
Also, Carl Kirshner, Liz Vasquez, Archer Hale loves his mom, evidently. Peyton Meadows, Norman Fell. Mason is a girl, by the way, and she's the one. Yeah, Norman did fall. Yeah, he did.
No, Norman Fell is the fucking guy from Three's Company.
Right, I know.
Yeah, Mr. Roper. Sorry.
And Mason fell also, and she is the one that hit her knee at the theater.
Oh, yeah.
She got 17 fucking stitches.
Oh, my God. We're so sorry. That's
terrible.
A
big cut. Jesus Christ, Mason. Less booze.
Maybe Chicago had it right by accident.
Other producers also still are James Martyr, Spalding Smales' booger he said that, I can't say it. He said the person donated and asked that I say the booger that Spalding Smales ate, and that is the most horrific thing. I can't even. I can barely say it. That's so gross. What was that from? Is that Animal House? No.
No.
Spalding Smales. Who is that? I don't know who it is. I don't even want to picture it. I know I've seen it. I don't want to get any further into it. Let's move on.
Into this booger eating.
God damn it. Sarah, where did I go? Sarah Group, Tiramisu Shuffle, Son of Jack, Sam's Stuff for Sale. Mike Collier is a chef in Sedona, James. And if you'd like to go visit him, I'll give you the information to go do that. Rabbi Shmulovich and Shitta Perlman, Swamp Queen Jess, Lauren Jerkowski, Gabia Vicinetiati, Johnny Udy, Ted Unruh, Mike Hawk. Are you happy? Are you proud of yourself? You made me say Mike Hawk. Are you proud? God damn it. Janice Hill, Thomas Smith, Frank the South African Birdwasher, Hannah Berkner, Jonathan Harden, Happy Harmony Boutique, what is this? General Shits Off, Shirts Off. It's not bad. Sarah Surge's friend, nice. Emma M. Buckler. Congratulations on whatever that's for. Happy birthday. Happy anniversary. I don't know. M. Buckler, thank you so much. Moving on. Cody Hedrick, Ivy with no last name. Marcus Hickman, Katya Huru, Billy Graham Jr., Jesus, I hope not. Molly with no last name. Amy White, Ezra Sonmez, Clove Schlaff, Adam P., Stephen Fraley. I wonder if that's Ace's kid. Ashley Han Solo, Kristen Harrison, Michael Hayes, Michelle Carruthers, Amanda Price, William Hubble, Micah Hale, Sleeping Collectibles, Joe, Vredenberg, Jessica Olin, Bo Hellstrom, Megan Hanshoe, Jamie with no last name, Barbie Hurst, Gavin Ratcliffe, Mary Lassiter, Chris Whitney, Sarah Berenz, Tommy D, Abigail Wimes, Michaela Chesek, Matt Lawson, Melissa Tront, Jason Whitaker, Whitaker, Angela Marie, Jason Hathaway, Mary King, Cynthia Gamboa, Detective B, Jennifer Ruth, Peter Stewart, Carrie with no last name, Laura Rupert, Lacey Webb, Amy Payne, Ed Monk, Candace Gray, Erica with no last name, Zachary.
Last names.
I know it.
A bunch of Webb and Gray and Monk.
Crushing
it.
Yeah, Zachary Janus, James. Don't name your kid Hugh. Susan Gochius, Kitty Revolution, Blake Headley, Jack Adams, Joey Burt, Nicole Ewing, Kristen Kirkpatrick, Bradley Baker, Mackenzie McQuillan, Unknown Dayglow, Christian Rosas, Residual Silver, Michelle Nippling, Brendan Alexander, Sarah Laella, Sean Fuller, Matt Studer, Holly Bryant, Logan Kurz, Dean Baltzer, Vinny Kolpanowski, Holly Hartman, Laura Mean, Seth Tackett, Adeline Reyes, Aaron Hoekstra, Robert Freeman, the Trashtic Plasbag Salesman of the Year, Gigi with no last name, Haley Ann, Tiffany Mulestein.
I'll never live that down.
Never,
and I love it. I don't mind it at all. That's my favorite. I love it because that's the dumbest shit ever.
Julie Newport, Latina Taylor, Andy Bowman, Claire Dunn, Nathan Nelson, Lucas Madel, Cheese Dip, Dawson Howard, Allison Gregg, T.O., Sandy Allen, Erica Bick. Okay, I'm going to pace myself. Jarrett Matina, Lindsay Giamarino, Hillary Barrett, Andy Rivera, Lance Booker, Kristen Wasig, Jenny Ahonen, Lana with no last name, Christy with no last name, Rachel Brabick, Jimmy Schweigert, Jamie Waters, Tarmac 492.
Wow.
That's who they are. Cody Lambert.
How about Taminator? No Taminators?
Not yet. Cody, no. Kaylee Harbin, Johnny Saracen Guzman, Nick Widener, Matthew Dickens, Shannon and Aaron, Liam Ferris, Vanessa Fay, Rachel McDonald, Chanelli Park Schneider, Abigail Carr, J.C. Walker, Adira Osborne, Jamie Smith, Christina Weeks, Zoe Suski, Joey Nix, Philip Poloni, I think, Leisha Fisher, Aaron Hardman, Samuel Thomas Gerstein, Amber Nicole Alston, Jillian Jackson, Brett Fager, Brandon Bayshore, Danny Edmondson, Laura Delano, Sydney Yarborough, Michael Wright, Andrew Boca, Alex Robinson, Jennifer Martin, Serena Kershoff, Holly Johnson, Shannon Orr, Samantha Lynch, Marla with no last name, Moss Barrel, Bull, probably not, Nicholas Midtonay, Jasmine Scott, Jennifer Gordon, Nick Tater, Christmas Lanka, Coco T, Ace of Spades, Sodes? That's got to be Spades. That's a misspelling. Sarah Gehring, Chelsea Hogg, Julia Zabrowski, okay, Peter Kops, and Cassidy Towery, and obviously all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Holy shit, you guys are amazing.
Fucking hell.
Thank you. You keep coming through for us, and we hope that our pittance of Patreon episodes are
worthy
enough to fill the void. So thank you so much for what you do for us. And if you want to find us on social media, you can find us. You can find the shows. We're all in the same spot. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Tickets to live shows, links to everything. You can find us on social media. We're all over the goddamn place.
Come to the shows. Can't wait to see you.
Come to the shows. Our live shows kick fucking ass, so be there. We don't hold back. They're not shit. Our live shows are badass. They're this with funny visuals, so twice the jokes.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. Do that shit. Keep coming back, because we're going to keep coming goddamn back. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.